Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 185. We're missing a couple people tonight. We're missing MVG, we're missing Sean RGT, and we're missing Max Dreamcast guy. But they'll be back next week, of course, and then the week after that we'll have our Halloween episode. That'll be fun as well. So I think we're going to pre-record that one though, because people are going to be all over the place for the 31st. But we'll have, I think, something really cool planned for the 30th that you guys want to tune in for.
I'll be right here.
We'll put it live on the 31st, but there's gonna be some cool stuff I think going on that weekend. But we do have a guest tonight, Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb, how's it going tonight?
Hey, it's going real well. Thanks for having me on, man.
Now, Jeff brought something very special, and we'll talk about that when we get to that section. You can see the Xbox Series X previews line down there in the title, and that's because Jeff is going to show us a live preview on stream of the Series X. He has it hooked up, and he'll show us a few things with it for fun. We'll be able to check it out here, and you guys can ask some questions as well in the chat. So, Jeff, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. And then we got Jordan, the Red Room, making up for MVG. We don't have MVG in his Doom Room right now, so Jordan's here making up for it.
Yep. Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. Then we got Miss Click. Click, how's it going?
Hello. It's going well. How are you guys tonight?
Good. Then we got OJ.
Sit.
Good to have you here. Evan's here monitoring the chat, of course. Double checking on Genshin Impact on the side as well.
Gotta stay up to date on that.
That game really grabbed you. That's good though. That's good. Yeah. And then we got Nate the Hate. What's going on?
Yep.
Good to have you here.
Let's always fun.
Oh, and I think Sean tweeted out his meat of the week because people will ask. We could probably pull up that tweet.
I got it.
Up, cool.
What
we
got?
got?
Ham? Wasn't it Honey Ham?
Honey Ham, yeah. Games that he played, remothered.
Which he
horrible,
hated.
Yeah. G.I. Joe,
He thought
which was
bland.
mediocre.
Oh, man.
Postal Redux.
Which was Postal, because, yeah.
Says no lotion on the feet, not now, not ever.
Can't say anything about the raptor claw though.
He's gonna regret that one day.
Oh, he's going to regret it. He's going to be. His feet are going to get cracked, and when he gets old, it's going to hurt like hell to walk. I've seen it happen.
He's gonna get bunions and everything.
Yeah.
You don't think he doesn't have them now? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, he's one giant bunion at this point. Yeah,
But it's going
bunion.
to keep getting. It's going to keep getting worse, though. He's going to look like he have cauliflower on his freaking toes when he gets older, dude. It's going to be bad.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Gross.
So
Really
let's
gross toes.
let's start with anything we've been playing this week. Anything fun outside of, I guess I did play the Mario Kart Live, which I'll talk about a little later on. But what did we all play this week? Anything good?
Steve!
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew you were gonna bring up Steve.
Steven Super Smash Brothers. Did you want me to talk about it or?
Yeah.
Waiting for. Okay. Yeah. Picked up Steve. I have the Fighters Pass 2. I'm not a Minecraft fan, although I do play Minecraft with my daughter whenever she comes over, and I have to say it's super fun. Like I personally think the character is really fun, but it's like big brain. Like you can't just I'm just gonna mine and hit people with stuff. Like there's a lot of resource management with him. Like you, anytime that you set a block or anytime that you use like a mine car or any of your like your special attacks that you use with them, like it takes up some of your materials. So you really have to watch that and then also kind of, fight within that. So you kind of have to like keep away, but then at the same time know when to attack. But once you get the hang of it, Steve is really good. Like he's super good. Edge guarding, he can really block people. No pun intended. From getting back to the stage, he has really good moves. Decent speed. His recovery isn't the best in terms of his jumping to get back to stage, but he can have like the old school glide, like back in Brawl. Like you can like fly, like you can actually like maneuver and like fly with certain characters like Pit, Meta Knight, Charizard. He has that, which no other character has in the game on his up B. So horizontally, vertically, it's not great, but horizontally, it's awesome. But I've been seeing a lot of cool stuff with them. So like usually like the characters like Olimar has like resource management a little bit, or like Robin. So if you're good with those characters and you know how to juggle your tools, I think Steve would be a great character to pick up. He looks weird as hell on the screen at times because he's like a block running around and like really weird motions, but at the same time he's like super fun despite
You know what impresses me?
Character.
You know what impresses me about Smash and Sakurai? He comes up with so many unique ideas for these characters. Like every character he keeps putting out there is so different. And like Steve is it's amazing he keeps coming up with these mechanics to make the game feel different, even though it's trying to be like a tournament style fighting game that people can play in
Yeah.
actual tournaments.
Absolutely, man. I mean, like we looked at like Min Min, you know, and how Min Min is a really unique character. She has essentially just kind of like two smash attacks. Like her B moves aren't special moves. It's just the other arm. So that's very unique. That's the only character that does that in the game. Usually when you use a B move, it's like, you know, left, up, down for like specials. But Min Min, that controls the other arm in terms of what you use. So Steve is kind of like, it's like you're playing like different Minecraft. You know, like you're getting your resources and like you're crafting your weapons. He's super strong, especially if you have like the diamond sword or like even like gold. His moves are really good. And we've already seen one person, DeBuzz, actually win. Like, it's just not a big tournament and it's online, so you can't take it super seriously, but it kind of gives you a little bit of the potential of Steve. He did win, I think it was like a 500-man tournament online, which once again, not anything, but at the same time, he didn't really have much practice with them. So we did win that online tournament. So that was that. But he's an Olimar main, so it makes sense that there's guys that are good with Olimar that can already pick up Steve and be pretty good with them. But some other people are saying that like Steve's horrible, like Steve's trash in the game, but it's resource management. So if you don't like thinking about that, it's going to be tougher for you to fight against people and play. You know. But overall, I had a ton of fun. Got him to Elite Smash. So I was happy, got my man to Elite Smash, and played a little bit more. People are really bad online with them so far, but overall, I'm having a ton of fun. I can't wait to see what's next. But yeah, Sakurai, God tier developer, God tier producer. Like the fact that they were able to pull this one off. This might be the most impressive in terms of pulling off a character from the game into Super Smash. But this might be the most impressive one. Not the best character, but the most impressive conversion of what the character does in their game and putting it inside Smash Brothers.
I agree.
Let's go over to Jeff. Would you play this week? Anything good?
Yeah, I played through Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I can talk about it to a certain point in the game, but I mean, the thing is, I just couldn't stop playing it. I didn't even mean to play through it all the way. I was just like, I played this game in 2013. I'll take the code. I'll check in on it. And then I was like, I had it, you know, in suspend mode, and I was gonna just kind of like go play Hades because I'm really into Hades right now. It's the other game I'm playing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go play some Hades, and then you know, I open it up and it's like, oh well, it's still on Pikmin 3. I'll just finish this day, and then I'm like, wow, I made a lot of progress, and there's like a fruit right there. I'm just gonna play another day. I think they made a lot of really great improvements. The lock-on's really good. I think still being able to switch to the map by hitting the minus button, that works just fine. It's just such a playable game. They really nailed it, and I'm really happy with it. In a preview capacity, they really nailed it. This is not a review, but yeah, it's good. I'm really happy with it. And then Hades, I cannot stop playing Hades.
Yeah, Evan played a lot of Hades.
Oh yeah.
Did you finish the game, Evan, or get
major storylines?
A
lot of the side storylines. I didn't get all of the cool little side features or secret bosses, but yeah.
I need to go back to that game before the Game of the Year voting starts. I think that might be in and around Game of the Year talk. So I'm gonna have to go back and finish that one up. Yeah,
it definitely is for me. It's I like these kinds of games. Dead Cells, I think I still prefer Dead Cells. Part of it is that this game really makes it obvious that it is it's boosting you. Like, you are definitely upgrading your character very significantly over time, to the point where now, like, you know, I'm almost 30 runs in. My character is completely different than when I started. Where in Dead Cells, I like that, like, yeah, I'm unlocking stuff, but that's more like a veneer over the fact that I'm actually just getting better at the game and I'm learning the game more. And I think I prefer that a little bit, but I get that most people don't. And I think most people will prefer Hades because of that progression. That progression is, and you know, the story progression is huge too for a lot of people. Where so no matter you don't lose everything. Sorry to interrupt, but you don't lose all your stuff after each. You do. So you do lose all your, like, all the stuff you gathered on that run, but there's a ton of progression where, like, you are you have this mirror and you're unlocking permanent upgrades to the point where, like, if you die, you come back with some life one time. And then if you get a bunch more of the upgrade currency, you can buy another one. So now you could die twice and you come back on one run.
And the trick is playing around with the runs, because you can increase difficulty. You can increase what you're going against once you get access to the packs. Once you unlock all the weapons, you can kind of determine with the mirror upgrades what path you want to go, because there's 2 specific skill builds you can swap between for each ability. Like, it's one of those endless, like, I wonder how this will work with this bow and these buffs, like that kind of thing. It's
still a roguelike, but like there's actual like upgrades and stuff to do outside of it to make
you guys might have convinced me, because I hate rogue games.
Well, here's the thing, like, it's not just about this progression. Like, the progression's all in the story too. Unlike other roguelites, when you go back and you go back to the beginning and you're like, oh, I'm not just starting from scratch. Everyone that you talk to remembers the conversations you had before. They are giving you new information. They comment on things that you just did. They comment on interactions you've had with other characters. The story keeps going forward, and that really makes it feel like you are progressing. That really makes it feel like it's not just, oh, I'm starting from scratch again. It doesn't feel like that at all because of this story stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a big story guy, and it's really working for me.
And when you're on, like, I think I was on like run 70 or 80 or something, there's even things out in the dungeons start to like change a little bit. The interactions with the stuff out there starts to change. It gets really fun.
This other stuff. Yeah, you can buy upgrades to the world so that you can unlock like a room that might have, instead of like being another room where you have to fight your way through it, you create an oasis where you can take a break, get some health back, and then keep going. You're like, man, that wasn't there before. It's like, oh, I bought that upgrade. I actually did this renovation, and now I'm reaping those rewards.
There's even an enemy.
Plays well on the Switch too.
Oh, yeah. And
it's good on Switch.
I'll try it. I said Dead Cells was the last. I broke my Xbox controller, and I said Dead Cells would be the last real game that I ever play. But I'll try this.
If you did not like Dead Cells, I still think there's a really good chance you'll like this.
I'm coming for all of you guys if I hate this game.
Come find me. Come find me.
I'm taking your Xbox Series X before I leave.
pick it up on the Switch. See what you think. It's pretty good on there. It runs well. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's it for me though.
What about Evan? You mostly Genshin?
Mostly Genshin. Nothing really new. I was debating Baldur's Gate 3, but I think I'm going to hold off till it's out of early access.
It's still early access. That's my only concern because it's a full 60, and it's an early access, and I'm like,
my friends have been playing it though,
maybe.
and it sounds really great. So like I've bbeen kind of debating picking it up before it goes full.
That's the only problem is when those full priced early access games come out, and it's like, oh man, yeah. So that's I did play G.I. Joe on the Switch. It is pretty bad.
Nice.
It's not very good. It is a budget Gears of War game with terrible cover system. Like it has the active reload where you reload and you hit stop it at the right point. And it seems like all the missions are really just like deathmatch and capture the flag, but dressed up like story. And the visuals on the Switch are pretty bad.
This is the one from that company that did that Big Rig trucking game, right?
Yes.
And yeah, that's the game where like if you go in reverse, you could just keep going, like keep accelerating infinitely. Yeah, okay, all right. It's a pedigree.
It's not a very good game. I wouldn't buy it. And I did finish up Mafia. Mafia's done, and the game is still good. What is that? 17 years later? Yeah, it's still a good game. So I would still check that one out. It's like 15 hours long. It's $40, $33 at Walmart, but it's a good one to pick up. You play any more of that, Jordan?
Yeah, I played through a good bit of it earlier today. I didn't have much time during the week to play much. But yeah, I put a lot of time into Mafia. I feel like I'm getting closer to the end.
Yeah, towards the end it starts wrapping up very quickly.
The missions are really good. Like it feels really nice to play almost like an episodic storyline, like I'm going through a season of a TV show.
Exactly,
which is nice.
That's what it is. Basically, every one they show is that it's basically an episode that you're watching of a show. But it's acted out so much better now with the newer system.
The acting is
visually,
great.
It's great.
I love the cutscenes because some of them last like 5-10 minute cutscenes sometimes, and it's just nice to watch, see what happens.
Are you skipping the driving too? I started doing that. I started skipping the driving.
I love the driving in the game.
Really? The driving got so annoying.
I love the classic cars. I love seeing what they did with the city. I know it's just fun. You know, I'm taking in all aspects of it.
Oh, okay, but, there you go. That's good.
I also played a little bit of Torchlight 3. I was playing that with Misclick. We're streaming that. It was a good time. A lot more fun than I thought I would have with it.
Click, you're playing Torchlight 3?
Yeah, we get to play some, and we gave obviously like we had codes to give away and stuff like that, and everybody that won codes were like, yeah, I like already finished, like I'm already basically 75% through the game, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. I'm falling more in love with more top-down dungeon crawly kind of games again. So it was fun playing with Jordan. He kept me
check that out. I like the second Torchlight. I like Torchlight too.
It definitely it is by different people.
Yeah.
So people who are long time fans of one or specifically two.
I think it was one of the guys that worked with the people on 2. Like they had like a separation in their company, and then one took the title and started doing
something like that. So a lot of people weren't necessarily happy with like kind of I guess like the art style choice, which I mean you're gonna have people who are gonna get upset about that. They just think it looks too mobile-y. To me, it was pretty. It was colorful. Sorry, Jordan. I mean to take up
no, that's all
your time, but we played together. It was fun.
Yeah, it's literally all I played, so.
What classes are you guys playing as? Did you guys try them all, or did you guys have a favorite one? I really like that railroad guy.
Okay. Oh, he was great. We had Squacken on our team playing as him.
Squacken was playing Railmaster. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was so cool to see the little train rolling around. I was doing
really
sharpshooter, and I think you were mage, right, Click?
Yeah, I did play mage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Nate, let's hear it.
Let me see. There's weird ones. Nothing weird. Mostly normal. They all come out next week, though, so nothing out right now. I played Transformers Battlegrounds.
Oh, is that any good?
So far, it's not bad.
It's like a tactical game, right?
Yeah, it's like an XCOM tactical.
Cool.
As Transformers fighting the Decepticons. Bumblebee's voice is a little annoying, but I mean that's expected of Bumblebee.
It's like an RPG though, so the characters level, they have abilities and everything too.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So if you really like Transformers, it might be something of interest when it comes out next week. I think I post gameplay on the 21st. I think that's the embargo date for that one. Then I played a game I never heard of before. Apparently, I think it's out on other platforms. It comes to Switch next week. It's called Horus. You're like a robot man. You're kind of like Edward Scissorhands. You're a robot made by an old guy, and then every chapter is kind of like mini games that represent another genre of gaming. So in some areas you might be running like a 2D, kind of like a Mario game, but then you might be playing Pong against like a human. So you're an AI and you're kind of just living life. It's actually kind of engaging from a narrative standpoint. It comes out next week. I think we're kind of limited on how much we can say about it impression-wise. And then the last game is the Red Lantern. People might remember this from a Indies one. It's the dog sledding game.
The survival one where they had the
bear.
Yeah.
It's like the Iditarod thingy or whatever.
Right. Yep.
I forgot about that game. Is it any good?
I don't think we can go to too much detail, but I'm enjoying it right now.
That's out next week.
Yeah, next week. I think I can post footage either on Tuesday or Wednesday.
That game like disappeared too. It's good to hear that it's coming out next week. Wow.
Next week, so.
All right, cool. That's good. So you'll have footage of all those games on your channel starting next week then on direct feed games.
I think I can post Horus footage on the 19th. So that should be the first one of the three.
I am interested in the Transformers game though. I just want to see how that turned out with the like mixing the tactical kind of RPG stuff with Transformers sounds interesting.
So far it's been solid. Like I haven't actually fought like Megatron or like Starscream or anything yet. I kind of want to see how more of the bigger battles take place. Like right now I'm just fighting no-name Decepticon scouts.
Okay.
And I'm Bumblebee, so I'm destroying the hell out of them because they have like 2 health and his default damage is 3. So I'm one hitting everybody. So I'm kind of like, okay, we have to get this a little deeper. Some of the character portraits are a little weird because they're kind of anime style. So, Bumblebee looking like Ash Ketchum is kind of like, what the hell happened here? But it kind of has that new age DuckTales look to it. But all cool. Angular and look too clean where they lose that personality that we grew up with from the 80s.
All right.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, gameplay wise it's cool. It's just maybe the art style won't sit well with purists.
Let's go over to Evan with a Discord question.
All right, we can go with: is Xbox smart for keeping pretty much the same UI as the One family, or should they have done a massive overhaul like what Sony is doing?
That's a good. You know what? I mean, they did kind of change it up a little bit. Like it has slightly been updated, but they're trying to keep between generations, and they're not as into generations as Sony. And I guess the Sony's new UI is kind of a clean break. I don't mind it as much, but I do like kind of Sony changing things up with the PS5 with their UI. I don't know what everyone else thinks.
Yeah, for me, it's I'm conflicted about this because new UI makes me feel better about buying a new system, but then I'm like. I try to examine those feelings, and it's like that's very much them playing on that with the forced obsolescence and being like, oh well, you got that old UI that's pretty junky. You should get this new PlayStation 5 so you can get the better UI. And then Microsoft's like, well, we're just gonna continue this because it's really not about the UI. At the same time, a new UI gives you new opportunities to try really cool new things, and it seems like that's what Sony's doing. I think that they are both viable strategies. Whether or not Xbox is smart to go along with it, I think having used it, it's really fast. I think it's fast enough. But I hope it's not like I hope it doesn't just stagnate on this for like the next 2 years. I hope they continue to like build on this and add new features. And if they do that, I'll be perfectly happy with it.
Okay, cool. Do we want to start with the Xbox Series X previews? We want to start with that because Jeff Grubb was going to actually show us some of the features of the Series X that he has hooked up right now. Of course, Jeff's been doing a lot of coverage over on his channel. You want to check that out. A lot of different videos on the Series X. And Evan said he could probably make it full screen for everyone.
We're up.
Okay, cool. And if anyone, Evan, you want to look at the chat, see if anyone has any questions about it. But it says Jeff's dashboard here. And that the one thing I noticed, it is super fast, Jeff.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is very fast. Just kind of getting around, even like just like loading stuff up from the internet. I think I'm downloading something right now. I think I'm downloading Sea of Thieves, and yet everything, even loading in from the internet, like the store, it still is instantaneous. But if it's on the box, obviously it's even faster. So this is preview. This is like still preview hardware, and they made it very clear that the UI is going to change between now and release. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do run into some bugs, but otherwise it's been running really great.
It's quick. Yeah, it's really fast. Like compared to what I was just playing the Xbox One X like an hour ago, and I'm looking at this and it's like, it's not even close.
You know what? Look at
all my games float in that.
What'd you say?
I have to say my love and appreciation for Jeff has grown immensely just now because he has Metal Slug X on his home screen.
I got that on my tablet. Let's go.
Is there any good game comparison here that you have already installed, Jeff? Because you have you're installing Sea of Thieves. You have like I don't know what's a good one that you've noticed for like load times or anything.
Well, I mean, pretty much anything's good. Let's see here. Let's bring up my games. Let's see what I have here installed. And I think like Ori's really good. I think Ori's one where this one hasn't gotten the X update, but it's gotten everything else where like, okay, you're going to get those load times and it's going to be super fast. And it's one where it just comes in instantly. That was quick resume because I've been playing this again. And it's already good to go.
Quick reminder, everyone, you're seeing it through the compression of Discord. So like,
oh yeah.
So be aware.
Yeah, this is more of like showing the features and the loading and all of that over the visual.
Let me see if I have a. Let's see if we can do. I don't think I even tried to do fast travel here. Let me see if I have that unlocked because I was playing this on Steam, so I don't know if I have fast travel unlocked yet. Let me see if I have a game that has fast travel. Let's see if we can bring something like that up.
We had someone asking if the background is customizable on it. So like what visual aspects are customizable, or is it all like kind of...
You know what? Let's look into this because this is something I haven't even tried. So you guys can kind of see it's animated back there, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it has like that animation to it, yeah.
Right, and that's something that wasn't on X. So let's just kind of see if there's a way to change this. Oh wait, there's a customize. That's customize the guide. That's going to be this. Personalization,
yeah. Color and background.
Color and background. There's a theme and motion though here.
Ooh. Theme's just
Scheduled.
Dark and light. And all that.
Oh, okay, yeah, just dark and light, right?
Light.
Dynamic background. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's not even going to let me do anything.
These are probably locked until later updates,
exactly.
most likely. Yeah, custom image.
Probably. Yeah,
custom image or anything, screenshot accessible.
They did mention the kind of the live backgrounds that they'll have as they go along, so that'll be interesting to see how that.
Yeah, so these are probably things that they didn't really put in yet.
Yeah, because they have the animated background, and they mentioned that's something they would be doing.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's I think you guys wouldn't be able to see like Gears 5 running at 120 hertz, but that's pretty great. Blink's the time sweeper, of course. It runs in auto HDR. It's beautiful.
Hey, you know what?
Like Fallout 76. Like, this is. I don't have it on quick resume right now, but that's a game where like if you're online and you try to quick resume, it doesn't handle it too well. It does bump you back out to the menu. But Hitman 2 handled it like that has a connection as well to the server, and it's just like, okay, we're not connected, and it realized it and just it hooked me right back into the server and kept me going. So it worked really well.
Okay. Yeah, because because you would disconnect. That makes sense. The quick resume thing is really cool though. So you can just load. How many games have you thrown in quick resume at once? Like 5 or 6?
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten like 5 or 6, and it's hard to like because it doesn't show you like what's in your quick resume. It's just kind of what's over here or like what's in this list here.
I'm kind of trying to translate this. I'm guessing this guy's asking if you can quick resume games that are on disc or just digital.
Yeah, so that's what people have been asking. Like, I think as long as the disc is in the system, you're going to be able to quick resume it.
Yeah, because
it's
still
all getting
installs
stored on
anyway.
the drive.
So,
yeah. Right, and that it's not going to trip on a license check because they have to check the license for a digital version too. So no, don't worry about that. It's going to work fine. Now I'm all digital, so I don't have a disc to throw in here, but trust me, it's going to work fine.
Oh, it's okay, cool. Titanfall 2. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is a game that I could see them actually patching that up to like 120.
I would love that.
It's fun to play at 144.
Really well.
Yeah.
Apparently, they almost got. They could have. I remember there was an interview where they said they could have gotten 6K out of the Xbox One X on it.
Oh wow! Yeah, I mean, and it ran great on the One X, and it's like it's hard to tell if it's just like that, if it's just running that well, no matter what.
Oh wow, that is quick.
Yeah, but it's it plays great here.
Wow, that's pretty. That's the biggest thing about this is just really fast to get around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see if I can't play Gears Tactics, which is I could, but we can maybe see they might have like taken Yakuza away. That's one that was like actually a next gen game, but they might have taken it away because it was a limited time demo. It doesn't look like it's on my list in here. Yeah, I do have Skate 3, but I'm.
Jordan's like, pull Skate 3.
Yeah,
quick resume.
Jordan went for it immediately.
Man, that was I don't even remember like opening this into my quick resume, so I must have just checked on
quick
it.
Quick resume's just the opening.
Yeah, that must have been. I must have just opened the game.
Yeah, to the people who are like, it was lagging. It's Discord. Don't worry about it, people.
No,
Evan's trying to have Comcast screen share.
Actually, I knew people would say it too. When I saw them, like, I bet you they think it's the actual game running. Like, I bet, and then people in the chat did. Of course,
no, the stream's running fine. My bit rate's fine. It's literally Discord just being like, and it's finishing.
Yeah,
like,
we're trying to come up with a good way to share it.
Well, I mean, Discord. If you're on a boosted server or something, they do give you like higher quality, but we're not on that. So
yeah, this is like some games aren't working yet, like Forza Horizon 4, they're going to update that, so this is what I get right now. I wouldn't expect to see anything like this once the thing is actually live, and
that's part of their Forza Horizon 4 is part of their launch lineup, so I assume there'll be a patch probably ahead of
right.
Yeah,
it did get an update in the background, but it's still not unlocked for me, so I bet it's ready to go. I bet they're at least testing it. Yeah, it's you know what? Sekiro is one where we could test fast travel.
Let's go.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. That actually has pretty good frame rate from I remember too on the Series X, right? It actually has it boosted up.
It's great. Yeah, it's it's really close to locked at 60. It's not quite locked at 60, but it's close. Let me see if I can pop in there.
Too much silence. It's awkward.
No, I was watching the screen.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
I was taking in the Sekiro loading. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. You're like you saw that bar. Like I'm like that bar's gonna take a minute, right? No, it's like it like goes faster than the bar actually loading it.
That is pretty quick. You can fast travel and
yeah, I think I have to go to the whatchamacallits though.
Okay,
well,
cool.
Just run into something and die. Let's see the
something and die.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I think I've cleared this. You know what? I could go out to the guy out there. Hang on. Yeah, let's just go out there.
Leap off a cliff.
Oh, that's
You've
a
got
good
a bunch
point.
of those around
your
you.
respawn time is.
Wait, the horse boss is up ahead. You already fixed.
Yeah. Let me just go there. He'll totally murder me.
Yeah, I'll say Sekiro is way more playable on something like this if it's touching 60.
Oh yeah.
On the Xbox One X even it was a struggle at times. On PC it was way smoother, but like man, Sekiro was so difficult on the Xbox One X from some of those frame rates.
Oh yeah, here he goes.
Oh,
all right. I'll just let him kill me.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Fade to black, little loading thing. And boom.
Wow, and shoot.
That's pretty good. Wow,
yes,
that's pretty good.
It's the classic solid state look at anything loading. It's always great to see.
Mm-hmm.
And the games aren't optimized yet for that's pretty good for games that are just kind of being brute forced by the SSD in the system.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, you will get a lot of these benefits. This is running off the internal stuff, but if you put this on an SSD and connect it to the USB, especially if you use like a USB 3.1 or 3.2 cable, it'll be really fast. So
wow,
yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, and this is for backwards compatible games, of course.
Are there flames coming out of the top of the Series X right now?
Yes. Yeah, let's feel it. Let's see how it is.
Got a quarter pounder on there. Got to flip it soon.
Yeah, it's actually it's super cool. Yeah, it's super cool for Sekiro. So yeah. So yeah, I did that in my video as well. I tested the temperatures of the air coming out of the vents because that was the easiest thing to do on everything. So it runs cooler than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So
nice.
I kind of don't know what else to say there. It's like awesome. It clearly is. It's more efficient hardware. So what would people expect? But yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the look. That is really cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Looking forward to the release of this system next month. I think it's gonna be really cool to see that and the PS5 out in the same week. Good to see load times being dropped with these SSDs for the most part. So that's really cool.
It's a much better experience. It's a much better way to play games. Like I think I was mostly consoles before this last generation, and then pretty soon into after 2013, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna take up PC gaming, and now I'm mostly into PC gaming because I think those consoles kind of were. Looking back at them now, the PS4 and the Xbox One are kind of junky, and it's all about that hard drive.
It was really about just how long it would take to get into a game, and that's why when Nintendo put the Switch out and it jumps into a game very, very quickly. It was just more convenient all the way around. So to see it, you turn the Xbox on and it immediately goes to the menu, and then you jump into a game and it takes like 10 seconds to actually be playing it. It's way, way more appealing. So that's good to see. Very cool. Very cool. And of course, Jeff is doing a lot of coverage over on his channel. If we have that, we can drop it in the chat for everyone, Evan or Jeff, whoever has it. We can drop it in there for anyone to see any more previews on different things, because Jeff did a lot of videos on it over the past week. So you want to check that out. It kept me real busy.
Kept me real busy for sure.
Yeah, you want to check that out. And the one thing though that people were mentioning, I saw in the chat, is that the UI is 1080p. That's something to keep in mind right now. And I am curious because I feel like Microsoft is getting pressed a little bit on that, because that was mentioned as part of their, I think you mentioned this online. I thought that they had mentioned it previously, and they're like, don't think too much about 1080p UI or something at one point.
I'll just say that in the embargo, they say they're like, we understand you're going to show the UI. Do not dwell on any of the elements too much, because this stuff is going to get updated. And I'm like, I don't know how much they're going to change the way the interface actually works. So what are they going to change? I think it's possible. I think it's also possible it comes out and it's still 1080p. For me, I would actually prefer it just be HDR, because the thing is, or at least have the option for HDR, because so many of the games now are supporting that because of auto HDR, that you get a lot of that flickering of your screen. And
good point.
You know how TVs can be so temperamental with that stuff. Going back and forth with that, eventually TVs just can be like, oh, I messed this up, and now the whole HDR thing is broken. If you could just keep it in an HDR state most of the time and just flick it out when a game is in HDR, which is going to be pretty rare, that would be so much better for me personally. But I get that people are going to be spending a lot of money on new TVs, and the idea of still running a console OS at 1080p, especially when it's supposed to be a next gen experience, to me that is a little bit underwhelming, and they probably should do something about that. It's not the end of the world, but they should do something. It
is strange because they tout it as the most powerful system, most powerful console, but then it has a 1080p UI, whereas the system is supposed to be less powerful, as a 4K HDR UI. So that's the only thing that throws me, is the way that they talk about it, but then the way they present it.
Yep, I agree with that.
So it's not the end of the world. It's just strange messaging, I guess, for it. But hey, who knows? Maybe they go, hey, people are asking for it. Let's just push a patch. And I guess if you want it to be 1080p, you can make it 1080p in the settings or something.
I mean, maybe they're just bad at it too, because Windows and 4K HDR is rough. Yeah, maybe they're just bad at it.
Yeah. Let's see. Evan, do we have another Discord question?
Has anyone on the cast still not managed to secure a pre-order for the next gen console or consoles they want?
I'm waiting, so intentionally, I suppose. I'm just getting everything on PS4 until it's not on PS4 anymore. To be honest.
Well, I still need to get a PS5 digital. I still need that. I think I have an Xbox Series X. I need to get a Series S as well. I need a Series S and a PS5 digital, but I have the disc ones locked up, at least for now.
If anyone has an extra PS5, I'll take yours. Let me know. I tried. I couldn't get it. So
I got two PS5s. pre-ordered, and I got one Xbox Series X pre-ordered. So
The
we'll
hope
see
is-
though. It's from Amazon, so I might get it. I might not.
Right. Who knows?
One of them, my PS5. One of my PS5 is from Amazon. The other one's from Target. They already took the money, so I better get it, or I'm kicking the dog. No, I'm joking. So I'm hopefully gonna get that. And then where did I get my Xbox from? Best Buy. Yeah, Best Buy.
The hope is that they have enough systems that go out day one that you can kind of do a walk-in, and by I mean kind of like you can wait in line for one. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes, because I feel like the PS5 is going to be one of those systems that ends up costing people like $1,200 to get under the tree this year, just because of like resellers and all of that.
Nobody should do that though. Like honestly, just like chill. Like don't sit there. If you don't get one, don't go out there and spend $1,200 or don't do it. There's every game is like, especially with Xbox, because all the games are playable on the regular. You know what I'm saying, on Xbox One for the most part. So don't do that. Just wait. There'll be more the following year. Just play something else. You'll be okay. Like don't.
You know how that pressure goes for the parents who are like feeling pressure to get that system.
Not me. If it was my job, like you better. She's waiting. And not me. She's waiting.
If you got rich parents, do whatever you want. Yeah, but like if you're hurting for cash, don't make any rash movements. Not yet. Like just wait.
Yeah.
Well, no, because everyone's always complaining about scalpers, but then they're also the ones who's paying scalpers for stuff whenever they want something.
They were crying the other day when all those Animal Crossing systems showed up at stores.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you didn't buy into that, you could have got one, and there's tons of them now. They're still on Amazon. It's the best selling system on Amazon right now. So if you just waited, you can get a decent price. You don't have to rush out there and get that. So just keep that in mind, guys, because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I might pull a trigger on that," and I'm like, no, don't. You can go exercise, go play something else, go. You don't have to revolve everything around the video games for the holiday. Just relax.
Yeah, ask for some lotion for your feet, guys.
Oh gosh.
At that point, just pay and have someone give you a pedicure, get a massage and everything. They'll rub your shins and everything.
How disappointing of a
Real
Christmas!
nice.
You're expecting like a PlayStation 5 under the tree. You open this big box. There's just like one little thing of like
Georgina.
Bath and Body Works. Yeah.
Nate, did
at
you
least
get?
it's something. At least it's something, bro.
Do we find out if Nate pre-ordered his systems?
I did not.
Oh, you're going for that Burger King Taco Bell contest?
I gotta wait for the free code. I don't eat the food. I use the public code that they make accessible towards the end.
Yeah,
Twice.
you won with the
Twice.
free code.
No purchase necessary. That's
Exactly.
Nate's
I
new
take
nickname.
that seriously.
You do take
I'm
buy the
impressed.
food. I win on Gold PS4. I win PlayStation VR. So if Burger King makes a code free, I'll be there for the PS5. Otherwise, I'm waiting for Ratchet and Clank.
I wonder if that's coming out. I almost thought that'd be closer to launch, but maybe it's like next February or something. Next March.
Yeah, it's early next
March
year.
window. Yeah.
That sounds good. Evan, we got another Discord question over there.
We can go with. So with PlayStation now telling you are being monitored, if you and your friends are messing around with each other in party chat, does that mean we will get banned or suspended when we are just having fun with friends?
Depends if your friend wants to tell on you.
Yeah, because it's just if they choose to send it in, right?
They have to
companies
record
were always listening to you. They're always monitoring you. So you're like, if you're using their servers, just assume you're being listened to.
The amount of times
I
I
think it
say
also-
the amount of times I say a product name and then like I start getting emails about it, I'm like, damn you phone.
or saying click.
I mean, I think it depends on how you're quote unquote joking around. You know what I mean? Like, just saying.
It's only
It's
only if your friends report you. Yeah.
The way
be a decent human being all the way around.
the way it works is apparently if you're in a party with people, they can record you and basically tell on you to Sony. That's how that works.
My thing is like, that was the first time like people still use party chats on consoles to play.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I just use Discord for everything. Like I don't. I have not had a headset and used anything since maybe the first time I played Destiny.
I mean, you can do the same thing in
PS4.
Discord though. You can just open OBS and record people in Discord.
Oh no, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like when I heard people using party chats and like that's a feature, I was like, okay, I'm not going to use a party chat. Like I've never used a party chat in like 5-6 years.
Yeah, it really comes down to if someone wants to record you. And honestly, back in the day when we play like Halo 3 or something, if you kept beating like another team, sometimes they would just report you for harassment for beating them, and you'd get banned for 24 hours. At least this way, you have to provide proof. They're like, yeah, okay, you got to send the clip in of them, whatever you say they're saying. So.
Yeah, but those people are always nice enough to send you a text message on the 360 calling you like a piece of shit after too.
That would happen a lot. Yeah. that was very common.
They'd be like, your mother. Be like, okay.
But I wonder what the other side of it's going to be for all the people who just send in non-things, just like to try to mess with people.
It's going to be a lot of spam.
It's just going to be spam. At some point, is Sony going to be like, nah, turn that guy's crap off, and then he can no longer report. And
honestly, that's what I would say. I would say if you keep doing these false reports, then they don't need you to keep sending stuff in because you cried wolf too many times. They're like, nope, they're wasting our time. I mean, technically, they got to pay people to do it, so you wouldn't want to. Keep having to deal with people reporting false stuff. And let's go. We'll go over to the PS5 UI. We had actually they call it the PS5 user experience. It wasn't even the user interface, user experience.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, apparently user experience is everything outside of the UI as well. So they showed a bunch of things, including being able to see hints and video clips that I guess developers are going to have to create that, which was interesting. But they showed off most of the stuff about the user interface. I would say they didn't go all the way with the shop channel or the shop icon, which I was curious about because that's now built into it. But I like what I'm seeing. I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty good. What did you guys think of the UI exactly? Even like the cards that they showed off, or their quote unquote, it's almost like their own quick resume, but jumping into the games with certain times and everything, activities. Yeah. What'd you guys think of it? It's 4K HDR.
I thought it looked good from the screen. I did a reaction to it. I thought it looked cool from the screen and everything. I'm not as into like all like the picture in picture and doing all that type of stuff, and like it seemed like the activities was a little bit like a lot of menus, like hop into a menu to get to a menu to hop into something. So that was kind of like but everything else was really good. Like I love how fast it was. I like how it looks. I like the integrated. You said they didn't go. They just showed the bottom row, so they didn't really go more into like that PlayStation Store, because the PlayStation Store on the PS4 it's kind of
it's bad.
It's kind of on there, getting into it and like laggy and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that it's like really actually integrated into it. But it seems like no matter what, it seems like it's going to be it's going to be better than what it was before. So that's good. So overall, I thought it was good though. I like the speed of it. I think that's the biggest thing for me is like how fast can you get into playing games? Because I'm not part of the community. I don't give a damn what other people are saying. I don't want to know what other people are saying. I don't care about activities. I don't care about any of that crap. I just want to know how fast I can just play my game and move on or do whatever. And that they knocked that out of the park there. So I'm happy about that. I think it's a lot faster and a lot better. And for those who don't want to care about the activities and all the other stuff, it's optional. You don't have to. So I do like that.
The picture mode is kind of like what we had on the Xbox One when that first launched, where you're like Xbox Snap TV.
Yeah. And I stopped using that. I stopped using that pretty quickly. It was cool for like a couple I don't know, days.
Couple days, yeah.
And then you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Kinect went in the closet.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just more of a refined version of that. But I did like that people could show you their screen. I thought that was kind of cool, where you could be in a party and they can be like, hey, here's where I am. Let me show you this game. I think they showed Uncharted for a bit, and that was pretty cool. Nate, what'd you think of the UI?
It's fast. It's a lot better than what we had on the PlayStation 4. All the extra bells and whistles are, just extra bells and whistles. Probably nothing that I'll ever utilize when I'm actually playing a game on the PlayStation 5, but I just like the overall setup of the screen, how snappy it was, how they separated media from games. So it's not going to be like on that one screen where you're going to have your movies and all that stuff. It's going to be, here's my game section, here's my movie section if you actually like buy movies from the PlayStation Store. And, overall, it's a nice improvement. But I think the speed was really what just stood out to me, is just how fast it was. So it looks like a breeze to use.
They had that one load time for Sackboy that I noticed, and it was like less than a second. It was really fast. So seeing that, and did you guys see the what people are saying looks to be in Spider-Man Miles Morales, where it loads out the city when you go through that pipe?
Yeah,
that was really impressive.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like I saw that, like, wow, okay, that actually looks like it's using the SSD correctly for that. That was cool. So
yeah, I think they picked that on purpose. I think because it really is an impressive demo of what this thing can do. If that's that's really how the game works. That is very exciting to me. I cannot wait.
I wonder what happens there in that instance if you're on the PS4, because before, if you would like finish a mission inside like in a warehouse or something, it would go to like a load screen and then you would appear outside. So I wonder how that happens, if it just does cut to a load screen again and just takes you outside, or if they have a way where it takes you forever to go through the pipe or something. I don't know. That'll be, those comparisons PS4 to PS5 will be really interesting, I think, next month to see how that works out. Jordan, what'd you think of that PS5 UI?
I think it looks great. You know, like it's fine for what it needs to be. I really like the cleanness that like PlayStation and Nintendo have done, where it's just, here's everything right here. And I think it capitalizes on that, but maybe adds just, I like that it separates like the media tab that they talked about. Like, all right, here's going to be all the media stuff. It looks like it's just going to be clean overall, which is nice. All the extra bells and whistles are cool. I'm probably never going to use half the stuff they showed, like the little pop-ups and like you can, you know, do this to get there. You know, like, I mean, it's cool. I think we heard about that, like, I feel like 2 years ago, like these features are going to be, you know, patented and put in there. But, you know, it's cool. I like that it's trying to improve on a lot of the stuff that people had problems with. Definitely making things a little bit more cleaner. But yeah, it'll take a little bit to get used to compared to being so used to the PlayStation 4s. But I'm excited.
Okay, very good. I'm excited to see what else they have with that PlayStation Store, because that thing is so slow on the PS. It's a separate app on the PS4. You have to select, and then it loads, and it takes forever. I loaded it up yesterday, and it
takes too long.
So long, but they jumped over to it, and it was like less than a second. Things loaded in underneath. So I'm hoping that means that we'll get something like that for just kind of built into the PS5. But I think it looked pretty good overall. And I don't know, what's the next thing they show us? Because they keep like doing these little drip feeds of news. What would be next?
They're going to do an unboxing video. They're going to show us what's in the box, I bet.
Just an unboxing like day one when you get it. This is what comes in the box.
Here's your
show us HDMI cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'll give it to Jeff Keighley. Yeah, and
they're like, look at this. Never seen one of these, huh? It's like,
that's gonna be interesting.
Seen it every day.
We're just over a month out, right?
Just under a month. Yeah.
Just under a month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just under. Yeah.
Okay. Just asking.
You ready for day one purchase on that click?
I'm just ready for like the launch to be out and everybody to have it and experience it and everything. Like,
it's been a lot of build up.
UI.
Too much build up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's the Switch build up was pretty ridiculous too, though.
Yeah, and everybody hated that crap, myself included.
That was great. Oh, that Switch.
No, that was horrible. That was horrible. No. It was absolutely horrible.
I got the Switch early for review, and it's probably the best I've ever felt about getting something early. I had like for like a month, because I remember my kid was just born, and I got the Switch and Zelda, and I was just playing in bed all the time with this little baby, and it was the best. It was the best experience ever. Yeah, that was a good time.
And the experience was great. I'm just saying the lead up. No, I don't want to relive those.
No, that made it even better for me. Everyone else had to wait, and I'm sitting there playing.
You didn't go through what I went through. Stop it.
Yeah. Nobody got bodied on stream.
Work. It was best. Yeah.
You didn't go through what I went through. I don't care. No, actually, I'm glad that you had a good.
OJ, you talking about the presentation?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What? You mean Jimmy Fallon?
No.
Don't worry about it.
OJ got bodied. OJ got bodied. He's like Mick Foley again, thrown off the top of the cage. It was bad.
It's related to some of the pictures we keep posting.
It was really bad.
Oh no.
The reactions are great though. The video still
reactions are
amazing.
Solid.
Quality.
No.
Hey, OJ left it up. He left it up on the channel. Everyone go watch it. He kept it there.
Should watch it. Even the build up in the video itself to the moment is just gold. It's quality. It's probably one of the best performances you'll find on YouTube.
Gosh. They can get you the stream, Miss Click. Someone can. I'm sure find you the stream if you want to watch it.
It's a solid watch.
You, Evan.
But yes, I'm looking forward to it next month. New Harbor is always fun, so it'll be a good time, I'm sure. when all that stuff starts to drop. I can go through some of the super chats. Evan, you have a Discord question over there.
Related to the UI, notice the new PS5 UI doesn't have the solid gradient background with the wave. Do you think we'll be able to change it back to that, or will the new UI be unchangeable?
mean, I'm hoping that they're gonna have like dynamic backgrounds as well, like complete, that you can just customize all you want. That's the hope. But I mean, you're talking about this like the regular wave that they had here on the PS4. I'm sure maybe they'll make a classic one. Classic wave. They should have just brought the cross media bar back. Just go and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason that RetroArch still uses it, because it's really good.
Hey, it works. It works. It works. We'll see. I'm hoping they talk more about themes and customization and personalization when we get on launch day, because at that point we'll just go through it anyway. But we'll see about that one. Did we have another Discord question, Evan? Or go ahead, Jeffrey. About to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. Do you think that third parties are going to support all that stuff with like the video tips?
That
like, who's going to make that content? Because Stadia teased it that we were going to do the same thing, but they're going to use their machine learning with YouTube videos, and even that's not working. I mean, that works if you Google it. If you like Google for a tip, they'll give you like a clip inside a video from YouTube, but that's not built to Stadia yet. But where's Sony going to get that content from?
Stadia? What's Stadia? What's that? I don't know.
It's really weird.
I heard Stadia is the best value in gaming ever, and
it's free.
People should sell their Switch, PlayStation 4, and their pre-order for their Series X, and just buy into Stadia for the next 5 years. That's what people should do.
No,
Phil Harrison's never screwed anything up in gaming, so yeah, I totally agree.
I'm trying to get called a Stadia fanboy. Okay, I've been called a fanboy for every system but Stadia, so I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, no one's ever gonna believe that. Yeah.
I gotta figure it out. Well, I'll figure it out at some point.
You know that you're alive in a content creator when you've been called a fanboy of every system. I mean, I've been called a Sony fanboy at one point. I was like, bro, I gotta check reality here. Whoa.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? That is a good question though, Jeff, because it sounds like the developers have to do it, because on Twitter I saw someone post about it that they had worked and managed like the clips that were in, I think, Sackboy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was one of the games coming up at launch. And I thought about that. I'm like, is that like, that seems like a lot of stuff to do if you want to get into, like, you know,
if you're like an indie developer now, I think isn't that stuff tied to like PS Plus? And then it's like, who's paying for that stuff?
Yeah, it's PS Plus. Yeah, you're right, Jeff.
So it's like, so Sony's monetizing that, and so then I don't know, it gets weird. I'm fine to like watch them try to figure it out. For me, it's going to be fine because I'm going to come to the PS5 to play Sony games, and that stuff's all going to be there, and it's going to work just fine, I bet, and it's going to be a good experience, and I'll use that stuff at that point. But if people are like playing all their games on PlayStation 5, and that stuff is like really spotty, I bet it could be the kind of thing where like in a couple years, people are like, well, I just stopped checking that stuff because it's never even there. So we'll see.
It's probably one of those features that'll be forgotten after the first year, because even like on the PlayStation 4,
right?
Yeah, like everyone's like, oh look, it has all this patch notes. You can find all these things. How quickly was did that all suddenly become a case of a game here and there where you could actually check the patch notes on your PlayStation 4 and see all the changes? Now it's kind of limited to just a handful of games. So this will probably go that same path. It's going to be the first 6 to 8 months. You're going to see a bunch of companies doing it because they're going to get a lot of engagement from the user base. And then they're going to say, this is too much work. Forget about it.
What's funny is people probably just forget about it anyway and just pick up their phone and just Google it. They won't even think about it at the first time,
And that's the whole thing with these UI reveals. It is supposed to be forced obsolescence. You think about all the cool ways you're going to do it. It's like going to buy a car. We bought our Prius in 2013, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's got all this cool technology in it, and I never use any of that stuff. But I bought the Prius for that stuff, but I never use it. It's not why I like owning it, and that's the whole thing here. Is like they want to use this stuff to get you to buy it, and then whether or not you use it after that point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point. They already got your money. You're already in the ecosystem. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's go over to the super chats here. We have Shadow of Nexus says the Dark Passenger returns. Click, you saw this, right?
Nani?
The Dark Passenger returns. Dexter coming back.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. That's gonna be good. We have to do a film wave for that.
I'm so
Jordan?
happy and also so sad. Jordan, you got to watch the whole show.
I can't
now.
believe you've never seen Dexter.
When I put that out on
listen, I put that out on Twitter. I never watched it, and every reply aside from you guys being excited was everything after season 4 sucks. That was every reply I got.
Just watch it to watch it.
The later seasons are.
It's the first season makes it good. Watch the first season at least. If you watch the first season, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No,
see if the first season hooks you.
He at least needs to do like a summary of the rest then, you know what I mean? Because then if we want to talk about the new
he'll know
one,
if he wants to do it at that point. But the first season's just a really solid TV show.
You just gotta be like, surprise.
It's all on
Surprise.
It's all on Netflix anyway. So.
Yeah, Jordan,
where's the continuation happening? Is it on Netflix or like a special place?
Showtime.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the first season, see what you think, because the first season was good. It was really good, and see if it grabs you, like the idea of it, the premise, and all.
I'll put it on my list.
I'm very happy and also very sad because never mind.
Maybe they'll retcon some of it. Click.
They cannot. How do you retcon?
That's
what's it called? The guy said, John, the main character, he said that they're looking to make the ending right, so they might retcon it.
See, yeah, they can. Maybe he was there, the sun was in his eyes, and all.
Because the ending's trash, and I think that after a few seasons, the show just gets kind of lame.
I never watched the last season, so yeah.
The ending wasn't very good.
Oh man,
the ending wasn't.
But it's good though. Like the first few seasons, I think are really good. It's engaging. I like the show.
I think someone spoiled the ending for me like years ago, but I already forgot.
Everything after season 5, it was just a dream.
When did it end? What year was that?
Oh gosh, that was 20. That was a while. That was
2012.
2012.
I was gonna say.
Right?
I feel like the way that shows are made, scripted, edited has changed drastically since the show has kind of come to a conclusion. So I'm hoping that the way that Twizzler's betraying me. I feel like genuinely, I hope that the game, God, I can't speak today. The show itself evolves to being kind of more relevant and I guess recent feelings. That way it doesn't feel like you are still watching the same show. Like I don't want it to be, I want it to be different, but not too different. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there's only so much my dark passenger that I can really hear, to where it's like, all right, dude.
Just bring back the surprise. Just bring back Dokes. Just bring him back. If Dokes is back and he says surprise, mother, like multiple times, then it's a good. That's all I need.
That's where the meme comes from.
Yeah, dude.
At least once an episode. Let's go.
Just watch the first season, Jordan. You'll be all right. Just see what
watch and he says it so much, but the biggest one is like when he catches Dexter, almost it's just like out of nowhere, it just like cuts to it. And he's like surprise, mother, and he's just like walking out. Surprise, mother, and Dexter's like,
That was great. Anthony says beard grooming routine on Spawnwave Plus when you hit 500,000 subs. Hey, never know.
Of course. Yeah,
funny you should bring that. This stream is sponsored by Man. It would have been a perfect segue though.
Yeah, but we'd have to be a professional podcast for that to happen.
Also, that's not for beer.
Sean's not here tonight, so.
It's going to be a light week of Spawncast clips. I'm telling you that right now.
Sai says, hey, all recently I have enjoyed playing Aegis Rim 13 Sentinels, and I was wondering if any of you had any thoughts on it.
I do.
What are your thoughts on it? Okay.
Atlas is weird.
I would agree.
Atlas is weird, and they completely failed with the marketing and with where they went with that game. So Atlas, let people know that you have a game that released.
Humdrum Dog says, Spawnwave, John, look up Red Tech Gaming. Okay, I'll check out Red Tech. Humdrum. Monroe says, opinion on Atari Hotel Casino in Las Vegas. It's Atari. Who cares?
I was going to get an invite to that thing. They were like, hey, we're going to invite you out there. I would have gone in an instant. That would have been dumb fun.
Events.
I think
no events this year.
They need to send me that VCS already. Okay.
I mean, they're not going to do that. They're going to open a hotel. They're not going to send you anything.
Apparently, they're shipping it. They took nice little, like nice little pictures next to the totally legit pallets of VCSs. So I'm supposed to get one. We'll see how that goes. Console Gamer says, saw Jeff tweet out the temperature of the new Xbox and didn't believe him, but I fully understand when Xbox News made the chart. That was a good chart.
Yeah, they helped out there. It was much prettier.
Rob the Butcher says, love how y'all keep having Jason Momoa on the show. Wouldn't have thought he was this knowledgeable in video games, my man. Jeff Grubb is the man. Hashtag.
Can you throw some axes for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. He's like really ugly stunt double. How about that? I'll take that. Yeah.
Joel says Xbox has no games. Jeff Grubb Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have anything. I said that, and I think that's true for launch, right? There's no games that are like will make you want to buy an Xbox if you're looking for that sort of thing, which is different than the PlayStation 5.
That Halo Infinite hurt them. Yeah, I will say that.
Absolutely.
Halo Infinite, hopefully next year. That should have been this year. It's unfortunate. I mean, the medium, I guess, in December, but the medium isn't going to be like a Halo Infinite, that kind of impact. So
no way.
Yeah, it's a shame because you see all the marketing right now for Halo. I mean, they have it with Taco Bell. They have it on the back of the box for the system. No Halo.
It's not unheard of to have stuff on the back of the box that is like comes a few months later, but still it hurt. Yeah, you're right. It hurts.
Yeah, like people are gonna see that in the glass and be like, "Oh, I'll get Halo." And no Halo. Master Chief Collection, I guess. Load that up. There you go. That should get 120 hertz patch, I would assume, too. By the way, on the Series X. This is very easy to hit 144 frames on that on PC. So Then we have Jalen who says hashtag no lotion. Joel says PS5 outsells Xbox 6-1 this time. Bet polls say it. I mean, 6-1. 6-1's a lot.
No.
I don't think that's accurate.
Wait, what did an analyst say? 200
That
to 300
analyst is
million
from Rakuten. He doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. The PS5 isn't going to sell 500 million units over the course of its life.
300 million.
300 million in 5 to 6
in the
years.
first 5 years, they have to sell 50 to 60 million units a year. They're only forecasting 20 million in production. This guy's expecting to triple.
I was going to say, can they even produce 300 million?
No, they
I didn't even think it was possible.
What the hell that guy is talking about?
He's just trying to get some clout, or not clout. He's just trying to get some like publicity for wherever he works for.
Some rage clicks.
There is nobody who has Sony stock who looked at that prediction and said, "Yeah, I'm going to invest based on that information."
Don't say no. Listen, investors are dumber than even that guy is. Investors are the dumbest people in the world.
I know there are some dumb investors. They had the Nintendo investor who once asked Nintendo, "Why do you make video games?"
Or all the people that invested, were like, "Oh, buy Nintendo stock." When the Pokemon company was coming out with the Pokemon, the mobile game that was blowing up. It's like Nintendo doesn't own that part of it. Come on, guys. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
interesting.
Just dumb.
300 million across 5 years because it's going to be popular in esports, and I don't know what the hell that guy was thinking when he came out with those figures.
It's ridiculous too because he said esports, but all the most popular esports games are played on PC.
Yeah, they're all PC because they want that high frame rate.
Yeah, League of Legends and Overwatch, all that they played. So what is the transfer here? I don't get that. You know.
I mean, 500 million, 300 million units in 5 to 6 years. Dear God, guy. It's going to do twice as well as the PS2. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
It's just wrong. Yeah, just wrong.
Console Gamer says Spider-Cat isn't in the title, so you're going to have a full-on Spawncast for that. Also, can you give Avedon Smith on here at some point in the future? Yeah, we've had Avedon on before. We can have him back on. Absolutely. A Vision says above my pay grade. Nate voice.
did you see that, Nate? The trailer for Monster Hunter?
Oh,
there's a guy.
I didn't watch that trailer.
This is above my pay grade, and I said it's like it's you.
It's Nate.
I was like, I reacted to it, and I was like, this is above my pay grade. My name is Nate. Shut up, Fringe. I said, shut up, Fringe, in my reaction to the monster.
Dude, I can't stream at all without people coming to my stream just going, shut up, Fringe, Nate voice.
That movie looks bad, right?
I mean, it looks
the movie itself,
it looks lame though.
The movie itself is going to be as awful as most of the Resident Evil films are.
Yes,
but the CGI work on the monsters themselves are incredible, and everyone at Capcom is very pleased with how they turned out with that. Those look really cool, and if for anything,
so much money,
visually,
though.
like in 4K, to see those monsters will look cool. The movie will probably suck though.
The movie.
Yeah, I bet if you're really drunk, it'll be okay. But otherwise,
if you're drunk with friends. But like
Absolutely.
the premise is trash. It's
The
a
premise
trash
is
premise.
stupid.
It's horrible. They should have done it in a way to where it's like
They put out the wrong teaser. That was the problem. You got everyone angry right away because the first teaser you show is military people shooting at Black
It should have never been that.
No, it shouldn't have. And
It
I
should have been like a revenge plot
said,
story. You know,
that's literally the beginning of the movie. And even when they show, I'm like, yeah, I told you it was the beginning, but also the rest of the movie doesn't look that good. But the monsters look great. Give them that. They look.
I'm in the movie, so it has to be good. But I mean, my guy died like immediately.
I mean, you're on the chopping block. There's a lot of shots of her just by herself by the end of it. So I think all those
die in the first minute.
Most of the people probably die in the movie.
I feel like most of them. Maybe not T.I. because
T.I.'s in the movie.
Yeah, I think he might survive a good majority of the movie.
Well, at least I still got Vampire Hunter D as a character for me.
Okay.
There you go.
Let me have Leaf Swift. No message. Then Caleb Straley says, "You guys are great." SwiftX Miles, no message. Humdrum says, "Jeff, what's next acquisition?" Xbox Era said one more.
There's always
a guess for an acquisition.
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh yeah, Nintendo. Yeah, they're gonna get Nintendo. Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Now there's a lot of smoke there. We'll see. I don't know for sure. So we'll see.
You think like WB? Go get those studios. Call it a day.
I think WB is probably not going to be. No one's going to want to buy WB. It's just too much money for not enough IP. Yeah,
got to work them down. Just get like NetherRealms and Rocksteady.
Maybe. Honestly, they could do that. Maybe that. Yeah, that would be a good deal.
Then Remy says, chance of Xbox Game Pass on PS5 through browser. That would actually be pretty funny, but they didn't show a browser, did they, on the PS5 UI? They didn't at least point it out anyway.
And even if it is that browser, who knows how good of a browser that's going to be? But it's going to be good enough for like really fast HTML5 stuff.
It might not have access to enough power for the CPU power. For that. Yeah, that's a good point. Then Leaf Swift says, video idea: Series X/S versus Xbox One X with SSD installed inside.
YouTube.com/Jeffrey Grubb. Go check it out. It's right there right now. You can find it there.
And we got to install the SSD inside the Xbox One X.
Oh, is that what he's saying? Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. It's not going to be much different.
The SATA drive on side.
Yeah,
it right up.
It's not too much faster if you do that than even if you put it through the USB, though. It's all about that CPU as the bottleneck. That CPU is just too slow.
Dennis says we need a Warp for Cybertron remake. That game, I remember that game. That game was actually pretty fun back in the day.
I would take a remaster of those two games.
Yeah, that game wasn't too bad.
Trip and Fall says the best console of the 5th generation was the Nintendo 64. Who's with me? All right, then.
Hard silence.
It's tough when the PS1's right there. The Notorious DMG says, "Can you quick resume Switch? Can you quick resume Switch disc-based games? So if you swap them out, you'd have to have the disc in there, is what you said before."
Yep. If you have the disc in there, it'll be fine.
Because it installs to the hard drive anyway, so it just checks to make sure you own it, and then it just goes to your hard drive.
And it checks the disc, isn't it?
Exactly.
Joel says PS5 UI kills Xbox UI. Xbox UI too blurry to look at. SSJ says, anyone remember Seasons of Heaven? I forgot about that one. Wow, that was the first quote unquote Switch game that we ever saw. Do you remember that?
The first NX game, and the publisher/developer gave out screenshots to members of the media to leak it ahead of time to gain publicity, and then it just became vaporware because the whole point of the game was to sell a book, which didn't sell.
So the game never came out.
If it ever actually existed beyond those few screenshots that were out there and that really weird trailer. It was basically the equivalent of Sadness back from the Wii era.
And we have Joel who says, show Dirt 5. I guess that was for the Series X when we were doing that. Shinru says, evening everyone. Xbox has that quick resume feature, and that's awesome and handy feature. Will PS5 have a similar feature at all? Well, they showed the activities thing where you can jump into the games, but they didn't specifically show them jumping around between games yet.
It seems like developers code those activities, but if developers can do that, I don't see why there wouldn't be a potential to have access for players to do the same thing. To me, I would almost assume that they're going to have something similar. I guess they haven't said anything
for the
yet.
PlayStation.
I think so too.
Didn't they say that?
I think so.
Didn't they say people could set bookmarks and that would just go to that? Like I thought that was something they were bringing up where it's like
for the activities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like as like how Microsoft like talks about quick resume, where you dump like 6 games onto the SSD basically and jump between them. They didn't say anything specifically like that. Just kind of checkpoints that you set, I guess, with these activities. So, well, I'll be curious if they talk more about the UI as we get closer to launch as well. Maybe a feature like they could do a whole YouTube video just on that feature. This is the activities and jump between more than like 2 games, for example. Because we saw the one game I don't see anyone ever talk about. What is it, Total Destruction Derby or something?
Destruction All Stars. Yeah.
Does anyone really ever talk about that game? Because I look at that and I go,
it's $70. No one wants to talk about it because no one wants to spend that money.
David Jackman made a video about it this week, talking about it.
Also, we haven't seen gameplay, right?
A playtester talked to him about the game.
Really?
Said it was fun.
Yeah. We'll see when it comes out.
I don't know if it's fun for $70.
I was gonna say that's the one game I'm like, that's the one game I kind of like walk right by. I'm like, I don't know how this goes.
Plus written all over it.
Yeah, it has PlayStation Plus fun. Definitely PlayStation Plus fun for sure.
I mean, it's like that Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or Demon's Souls.
God, it really does feel like the game that they put out because they need to put something on PS Plus in like January. Yeah, that really does feel like that game for sure.
Yeah. And this is from Bummer Rob says, what happened to the Analog Pocket? That's still coming out. That's next May, I think. It's coming out.
Jeez.
And then Bummer Rob says, anyone else play the Produce beta? It's great.
What's that, the grocery store?
I don't know, just Produce. I don't know. I haven't played that. Sebastian says, gonna report all the racists and COD chats. Yeah, the chats back in the day were wild stuff. If you went into the wrong one, there was some crazy stuff happening.
Modern Warfare 2 days, man.
Oh, yep. It was crazy back then.
I quit. That was why I quit. It was that and Resident Evil 5, believe it or not. I said I'm done. I'm never going back to voice chat.
Oh, I can imagine Resident Evil 5 being real bad. That was
Resident Evil 5 was horrible.
Yeah, it was a lightning rod for that stuff. It was bad overall. Yeah.
But yeah,
COD was played with people I knew.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was in a community, and you think that these people are cool, and then you realize that they end up being horrible people. You know, so that's why I said I'm done. I'm never playing it.
That's what I would do. Like,
again.
The problem we ran into is like Halo. I think it was Halo 2. They would throw you into a lobby at the end after you played against these people, and there was no timer, so you could sit there and argue with them for hours if you wanted to. And it got to the point where people said the first one to leave loses. So I knew people who would stay in those after game lobbies for seriously half an hour at a time yelling back and forth at each other. It was wild stuff back in the 2007 2008 days.
Kind of glad my parents are poor and couldn't afford another console.
The Savage Minion says, on the Series X, do apps like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon take up quick resume slots? Can I quick resume a movie? I could see pros and cons either way.
Don't know. We can't use those apps yet. They aren't working. But I would imagine that maybe if you can download shows on Netflix and you have them saved them locally, but otherwise Netflix is not going to be like, oh, let me save your spot for you. Other than the way that they do, like they're not going to like keep you ready to go and have that movie ready to go and have it ready to go and quick resume connected to the internet.
They do that though, right?
No,
like,
but they do it where it starts at like low quality, then scales up as your bandwidth picks
They'll
up.
have the bookmark for you just like normal, just like you do on the phone. It'll work like it does on your phone, honestly. So if you've had a fast Netflix experience on a platform before, it's going to be like that on these devices because they have fast enough CPUs and fast enough drives now that to really take advantage of that stuff. But not going to be quick resume, I don't think.
Scuff Studios says PS5 UI is basically Xbox UI with extras now, sadly. Old Taco says the PS5 and Series X UIs are both fine. Now the Switch UI needs to be completely overhauled.
That's not happening.
I wouldn't mind folders at least or messages.
Yeah, I don't think a complete overhaul, but I think some features need to be added.
Yeah,
just music in the eShop. That's all I want. Just put some music.
Just give us some themes.
That is weird that there's no music in the eShop. That is weird.
I still love going to the themes folder and seeing like you want light or dark theme, and it's like
I want some other choices. Like I'll pay $1 for like a cool video game.
Let's just let's just put it out there. Who's on light theme right now?
Ugh.
Yeah. Who did it? Which one of you? I'm kicking.
Who is it? Yeah. I noticed Nate's not saying anything right now.
Who the hell uses light?
Nate's sus, vote him out.
I switched to the light theme on that Xbox for a second, and all of you were like,
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Allergic to it, man.
yeah,
That's
like vampires.
terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I have dark theme set on Twitter for my mobile.
Yeah. Same. And on YouTube. Pretty much on everything. Yeah. Let's go over to Mario Kart Live. Did anyone else get it, or was it just me?
I'm getting one.
I hovered over the purchase button, but I didn't do it.
None of you are fun.
No, I'm getting it next week. I promise.
I got the Luigi one.
I have children. I'm not just gonna. What am I gonna do with it?
My
I'm gonna
kids
race
aren't
around the
touching
house.
this thing.
Can you
My kids are
crazy?
can you
All I
picture
can do is
Nate
I can
just
race
sitting in
around
his
my
like
house.
room, just like
Yay!
playing?
I showed it to him, and the first thing that one of them did was pick it up and throw it, and the kid's like,
Yeah, that's
one.
about right.
So
I mean-
no, they can't play with this. This is mine.
I guess I would take it outside and I'd try to do some like crazy shit with it. But then I'd probably break it and be like, that cost me $100. That
Okay.
sucks.
Anyway, it is. It's surprisingly fun. It's actually pretty good. I was
I
surprised.
saw a lot of I just looked at the review scores. It looked like a lot of 7.5s and stuff, and I'm like, I want to get it because my kids love Mario, but it's fun though. You think it's worth it?
It's
Requires
it's
work,
$100.
though.
It's $100 is my only problem. It's
Right.
because when I looked at it, it is essentially an RC car with a Wi-Fi camera strapped to it, and like that's it. That's what basically.
Yeah, but even remote control cars, like even back in the day, like they were expensive.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I
this-
mean?
They're
Yeah.
really cheap now, though.
But this
Well,
one,
really cheap
yeah.
this one isn't like crazy high quality, I guess is the best way to say it. Like it doesn't feel like a car that's worth that much, but I understand there's also software because when you do buy it, you have to then go to the eShop and download it. It doesn't come with a cartridge. So it even says internet required on the side of it.
How does it interact with all the other stuff that comes with it?
What you have to do is it comes with basically Labo pieces. So I took it out of the box and I was like, well, Sean's not playing with this right away, right? And it was really easy because it just unfolds and you fold one section up. Then I was like, this is where RGT gets off, I guess. And then I put him down on the floor, and that's it. Then you sync up the way this car syncs up to everything. It puts a QR code on the TV or your Switch, and you just point the camera at it, and then it just syncs up and updates the firmware. So it's really quick that way. And for the most part, there's very minor lag. So it's not even that noticeable when you're using it. And it's a really weird, I guess feeling or sensation to drive your car around looking at your TV or your Switch and you see something completely different. They even put like speed lines around it. And I put up on the video, I did two different sections. I did one that's like the actual, like what's actually happening and then what it looks like. And they try to make it look like you're going way faster than you are, like compared to because the RC car, it doesn't move very fast until you start kicking up the difficulties. And even then, it's still not that fast.
Like the CCs?
So it just blurs the edges, I guess, a little bit.
Oh.
It puts like speed lines in and all this stuff, but it's really funny because if you're driving around and you hit an item block and you get like a mushroom, for example, and you use the mushroom, you'll get a speed boost and the RC car will actually go faster.
Oh,
Like in part, like it actually goes faster, which is kind of cool. But if you just buy one of them, they put a bunch of like computer generated like AR opponents to race against, and they have it set up just like Mario. So when you're driving around and you see those gates that you have, they give you 4 of them initially. They'll put like graphics and stuff over them. So
that's
like,
what I was curious about. That's cool.
Yeah, so like one of them was it was raining, so the floor was a little slick in the game basically, so it like actually had the parts where you're burning out because the floor was technically wet, and then they put pipes over it and they shot the question blocks through it, so you had to try to grab them while you're driving around. So it was kind of neat. I know it's fun. My only thing is I wonder how much time you'll get out of it before you're like, okay, I guess I'm done. I'm gonna go play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now.
I was waiting to see. I didn't see any streamers or like YouTube videos on it, but like it's very easy to use the camera in there as like a streaming camera just to try it out, right?
Yes.
Because all you have to do is, have your Switch docked and be streaming it with OBS, and then you just have that as your main camera and you put the cart in front of you and it should be able to work. Like it's very simple. Like you think you're like, how can I make this the camera? But it's
do you know what I really like about it? The one thing I really liked, because I was playing it after that video, I played it more and more. If you crash into something with the car, so you're driving around, right? And you don't need any of the stuff hooked up. You can just put the car down, get your Switch in handheld mode, and just drive it, and you'll be able to look through it with your Switch. So I was driving around upstairs, and I ran into something. And when you hit something, because I have Luigi, they put Luigi in like the car driving around. He's like right like the camera's right behind him, so you can see him looking around left, right. If you crash into something, he'll like make the motion like you crashed into something and look at you and just be like, what are you doing, kind of thing. So
learn how to drive.
Yeah,
it gives you the evil eye.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So they do a lot of those cool little things, but it's Nintendo dressing up what is technically pretty basic technology they have now, but making it look like it's this crazy amazing thing. They did a pretty good job with it. I think it's fun, but I do wonder if it's $100 fun, or if you have like 3 kids and they all want to race, if it's $300 fun.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's definitely. I think it's so cool. You know, like with Labo or Ring Fit, and now this. You know, like they are still trying to like kind of give the physical element of involving you just outside of the game, and still like not just fully wanting to be digital. To be honest, a lot of kids like don't even like have remote control cars, and I was obsessed with remote control cars as a kid. Like,
yeah,
I was always outside. All my friends, like that was like what we did, is we'd race remote control cars if we weren't like on our bikes or scooters or skateboards or something. And it's just something that you don't necessarily get to see kids do. I mean, you would say this wasn't necessarily like an outside device though, so it'd be something that you'd probably keep inside.
You
right?
keep it
like
inside, but what's weird is it has a hard time even on high carpet. Like it's not quite strong enough. I think if you pick it up, but I think if you kick it up to the higher difficulties and your car all of a sudden can go faster and it's technically more powerful, then I think it gets around the carpet a bit better.
Are the tires like an actual like kind of rubber material?
Yes, it is. It looks like this. Yeah, they're rubber. Yeah,
they're actually okay. Yeah, because some cars didn't have that.
But yeah, it just has a little camera at the top, and it just kind of looks around as it drives. So it's kind of neat.
Some cool projects out of it being made with these courses where they can set them up. I think it'd be cool. I have a couple friends, doing that right now, messing with it and try to make like actual like Mario's Kingdom. Like day one, I feel like people were already building like these elaborate, cool designs. I'm like, it just came out. How'd you have this already?
They also put the charge thing on the side, so it looks like when you plug it in, you're like putting gas in the car. I don't know, there's a little touch. But to do a course, you just say you want to do course creation. They put like little paint on your wheels in the game, and then you drive around. And you basically you create the track that way, and then it'll remember. So you don't have to just go by the gates. You don't even need the gates technically. They just help you set up the course. So you just drive around. Like I did a big loop all the way outside of one of them, and it tracked it the whole way.
Oh, that's cool. That's easy.
The best thing I've seen is all the cat videos.
Yes,
online.
That's what I'm excited for. I want to.
There's so many cats either like freaking out, like what is this, or they're attacking it, or standing their ground against it. So it's they're littered everywhere on YouTube and Twitch.
Yes, if you have animals, it would actually be a lot of fun with that. So I think it'd be a good time. But I think if this gets a price drop to 70 or 80, I think then it's a good pickup for that. But like it's so close to like $100. You might want to maybe try it out if a friend has it or something, just to see.
I don't know how much stock there is, but it shot up right to #1 on Amazon as soon as it jumped.
The Luigi one is very hard to find. Apparently, I saw Mario was in stock yesterday after I finished the video and I looked online.
It's not in stock anymore. I was checking on my stream and I'm checking right now. And yeah, it's not in stock. But it's #1 on there, and people are already trying to scalp it. But don't buy it; they'll be in stock for it, so.
Yeah, but
they're trying to scalp like $160, $170. So it's not...
I will say I do like Nintendo trying to be creative this generation, because they seem to be doing that a lot with things outside of just sitting in front of the TV and playing. So I like them at least trying new things, because that's how you get the crazy, really cool things that come out. Like Ring Fit worked out for them really well. So why not? See what you get. Sometimes you get Ring Fit, sometimes you get Labo. So yeah. Let's Evan, we have any more Discord questions left?
Got 2. One I think is just trolly, so I mean maybe I'll read it. Maybe
that's always fun.
Yeah. Okay. It seems that with next gen, a lot of games will offer 1440p 60 FPS and a 4K 30 FPS option. I like having the choice, but considering most people will be playing next gen consoles on a TV, not a monitor, and how few of those TVs will support 1440p natively, how do you think this will play out? Will a lot of gamers be playing at 1080p on next gen to ensure high frame rates?
I think you'll see, these systems will probably also allow upscaling to 4K from 1440p. So that's probably what you'll most likely see. So it'll try to put out a native 4K or a 4K signal that'll be 1440 upscaled, I assume. I don't know, Jeff, you've tried this with like the Series X with like a 4K TV, set it to 1440p and see how the TV handles that at all. I'm not sure how that would work out with that.
It wants to. It's very dependent on what your TV is telling the Xbox can do. Because you know that screen where it's like, oh, give the green check marks for everything. If you don't have 1440p, it doesn't even offer that as an option a lot of the time. My TV does have 1440p, though it's a Samsung. Samsung, they have 1440p for a lot of their TVs. They try to, like, specifically because they want to work well with consoles. So I think it's gonna be more common, but I think if you have a 4K TV and you set it to 4K, most games are just going to give you like the mode to either do frame rate or prefer like image quality, and that's going to kind of give you the same thing, and you just go with the frame rate if that's really what you care about. So I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. People are this is going to be a hang up for people that really want to make sure that they're getting the most out of their TV, but that's a really small portion of the population. Most people just leave the settings at default and just plug everything in, and for that it's going to work, and you're not going to get the most out of it, but most people don't care.
I wanted to go over this one. This should be fun. You said we have one other Discord question, Evan?
Yeah, it's the trolley one. So maybe we skip it. I don't know.
Why is it that bad? Is that trolley?
Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 5, GeForce Now, Game Pass Ultimate, or Stadia. Discuss.
Oh, which Stadia? On which one? Obviously,
I
Stadia. Yeah.
I mean, Stadia.
I just told everyone to sell their systems and buy 5 years worth of Stadia. What do you think of that? I think I'll probably end up playing Cyberpunk on the Series X and the PC.
That wasn't an option. I guess you're getting it on Game Pass then.
What did they say? It was PS5 or was it PS5 Game Pass?
PS5 Game Pass, GeForce Now, or Stadia.
Okay. PS5 would be the option. Get the free. PS5.
Yeah, I guess it'd be PS5 then. Yep. Okay, I gotta bring this up with Nate. Nate, did you see the recent interview with Phil Spencer?
Yep.
In Kotaku. Okay. Because it looks like maybe those Bethesda games won't be on the PS5.
You have to look at the question he was actually asked.
Okay, should we read it? Okay,
yes,
let's read it. Let's read this.
You should read it.
Let me pull it up right here. Okay.
So people seem like they can't read. Is that what you're going to say, Nate? Because they can't.
Yes, that is what I was going to say.
Is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation? He said yes.
The answer's that.
And it's true. That is possible.
It is possible. It is possible to recoup if you don't bring games to PlayStation 5 or other platforms. It is possible.
So when I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices that we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
So are you still sure that they're going to put it on PlayStation, Nate?
Well, there's nothing in that answer that says that it isn't possible. He was very specifically asked if they have to go multi-platform for that deal to pay off, and he's saying, "Oh, we can leave the games just on the Xbox."
So then the reasoning that's been said that they need to make up that $7.5 billion by putting it on the PlayStation and other platforms would be incorrect then.
If you want to take his words in the literal sense of that you have to bring those to other platforms to recoup the $7.5 billion cost, then sure. But the question is specifically saying, do you have to? And he's saying, no, I don't have to do that. We can recoup it just on Xbox. That's where the question is very deliberate. It also gave Phil a little wiggle room of how he could address that.
Because he said before that it would be, they would approach the different games on like a case by case basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it still falls in line with that answer.
And that with his answer in this interview, he's still balancing on that line. He has not said, at no point did he just give the clear distinction of no Bethesda game is going to go to PlayStation 5 or Switch.
Okay.
He's simply saying we don't have to put games on these other platforms to recoup the cost.
So he says, Spencer told me that it doesn't feel sustainable to consider Xbox games on a case-by-case basis for Switch.
That is basically Phil Spencer's way of saying, I want Game Pass on the Switch.
Yep, I was about to say.
To Nintendo to come and say, we're ready to embrace that Xbox ecosystem on our platform.
Well, he also kind of implies PlayStation as well. But
he wants Game Pass on everything, PlayStation and Nintendo included, and he's just waiting for one of them to say, "We're ready. Bring Live, bring Game Pass to it. Whatever you want is how we're going to give it to you." And it actually comes down to that. It's Microsoft ready to go. It just comes down to that.
So you're saying that I was correct then.
With what?
That they're not going to just ship the games for the other.
Yo, that just hold on a second. I almost had a heart attack. Holy
what happened? It's everything. When they're attacked, what happened?
No, that's my alarm that like I literally sleep like a dead person. So.
Oh my gosh, you wake up to that?
It gets worse. Do you want to hear that? No, I'm not.
You wake up to that? I thought mine was bad, but holy
no. It gets
I would have
worse.
a heart attack every time.
No. It is literally like every single loud sound in the entire world together. There's like a guy like bleh, bleh, like screaming. I'm not even kidding you, dude. It is atrocious. I am so sorry.
So Nate, I said the only way that these games would go to the PlayStation is if PlayStation allowed Game Pass on their system.
I mean, Phil, he could hold them in that type of hostage situation, if you want to call it that. He could do a situation like that because they'd want to find value. But
he might do that. I hadn't even considered that he might do that. That might be what this is happening. Yeah, that's probably what's happening right now. Actually, now that I think about it,
you want Elder Scrolls 6? Gotta get
it. You want Game Pass on your platform, then because technically, as that publisher, now Sony has to negotiate with Microsoft a little differently to get games on the platform. So Microsoft has a little more power now. If Sony steps up and say we want Elder Scrolls, Microsoft can sit back and say, okay, well, you typically take 30%. We'll give you the game if you cut your rate to 20% and you put Game Pass on your hardware.
Yeah.
Now it's up to Sony to say, are these games that important to us?
Basically.
Or, I mean, Microsoft can still pull the punch of, we're keeping a game like, we'll just use Elder Scrolls as the example. We're keeping it an exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem for a year, 18 months. And then we're going to consider putting it on PlayStation 5 after that time. Microsoft can use leverage here, but nothing in that new interview has specifically stated that it cannot happen. It's just they don't need to put them on other platforms to recoup costs.
Okay, because that was the reason I was told that they would put it on PlayStation, because they have to recoup costs.
From a business standpoint, I mean, if I can make $1 billion releasing, we'll say, Elder Scrolls on Xbox, or even throw the next Switch on there, depending when this game comes out, and PlayStation 5, wouldn't you want to do that to make as much money as quick as possible?
Not if I'm trying to build an ecosystem over 20 years.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to come down to how long is Microsoft really committed to this game plan? In the short term, the whole deal with Bethesda and multi-platform games isn't going to change. It's really looking into the long term. And it's a question of, what are we actually gauging long term? Are we talking about games coming out in 2021? Are we talking about something 2022 and beyond? And right now we don't have a really clear distinction of what that is. This deal isn't even going to be finalized until June 2021.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking 2022 for like Elder Scrolls 6 was brought up here. Do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will be on the PS5?
I mean, we're talking about a release probably 2023, 2024.
Midway through the gen.
I'd see Microsoft position that as a console exclusive. We probably have to be looking at something closer to the long line of Starfield. Yeah, if Starfield is next year, then like the contract has probably been written up that it was going to come to PlayStation 5 already, and that agreement's been made.
I think Starfield's probably 2022.
If it's 2022, then maybe they hadn't made a full deal yet. But we know earlier this year, Sony was courting Bethesda to get Starfield as a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yeah, and what happened?
So, like, where's the state of that game?
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know where that game is exactly right now in development.
We don't know what that game is.
And that's why Spencer really can't give an answer of yes or no to any of this, because we don't know what the contracts were for some games that have yet to be announced and what has already been made and put into motion for PlayStation 5 and other platform releases. So he is kind of stuck there. He can't say, no more games, and then Starfield comes out on PlayStation 5. Because then people say, oh, look, you're a liar. That means other stuff can happen. And he can't say, yes, we're going to put other things on, multi-platform, and then say, oh, Elder Scrolls is exclusive.
It's just because the deal isn't done yet. Like June, after June, I have a feeling after June they get a lot more straightforward and honest.
Yeah, the communication right now is still, it's leaving a lot to be interpreted. And his statement with Kotaku's interview had a lot of people saying, oh, look, this means exclusive. Like, read the question. He did not respond to that. And Totilo went to Twitter to clarify, saying, I didn't ask about exclusive deals. I asked specifically, do you have to go multi-platform to recoup cost? And a lot of people ignored that distinction.
So I think it'll be mostly just Xbox, Game Pass, xCloud. And after what they did with Mojang and Minecraft, I think they are just moving mostly service based on that. Because you remember what happened with PlayStation and Minecraft, right? You remember what happened with that? You remember the whole holdout with Sony on the cross? Remember that they were like,
"Oh yeah,
Nintendo that, right?" Do you remember what was called? Do you remember what was causing that?
Sony.
Well, do you remember what Microsoft wanted Sony to do?
Let Xbox Live on the PlayStation.
Yes, you had to have you had to sign in with your Microsoft account.
Yep,
do you know what you do right? Do you know what you do right now to play Minecraft on the PlayStation?
Nope, because I don't play Minecraft.
To do crossplay with your friends or get the latest version, you got to sign in with your Microsoft account.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good point. If we think about it through because people say, "Oh yeah, Microsoft's kept Minecraft multi-platform, right?" And you're right, it is as a service. So how does that fit in with what Bethesda offers? Like, how do you make that a service that you offer on the other platforms? And it would be as Game Pass and only as Game Pass. And I get why people think it's a really far-fetched idea to ever imagine a world where Sony would let Game Pass onto that platform, but you do sign in to Xbox Live on PlayStation to play Minecraft now, and that's something I never would have expected to happen either. So, if they get enough leverage,
it's it's weird because Microsoft's made their ambitions clear. They want Game Pass on everything, including PlayStation and Switch, and it's really just is Sony and Nintendo going to come up and say we're ready to take this? And look at Nintendo and Microsoft. We have Steve, Banjo. Just in Smash Brothers, you have the Minecraft games, you have Ori, which Phil Spencer continues to say, well, that's Moon Studios they wanted that game on the Switch, even though it's a Microsoft IP. And if Nintendo was willing to come out and say, we're going to take a Game Pass app and you can launch it on the Switch, we'd obviously have to work out the financial details. Are you taking 30% of software sales? Are you taking 30% of the app sales? Are we going to go more like an iOS route where you put the application and then we dictate how much you take per game? How would it actually be managed? If they could work out those financial details, I think Nintendo would sit there and say, okay, but we're going to curate which games come to the service, because if you put Doom Eternal on Game Pass on the Switch, well, then that's going to hurt the selling proposition of Doom Eternal coming to Switch itself. And we don't want to lose those software sales. We get a large percentage based on what is sold. But if all of a sudden Doom 3 is exclusive to just the Xbox ecosystem, Nintendo might say, we're ready to play ball. Put that game on Game Pass. Put Game Pass on Switch too, and let's be friends.
So, what they could do if they really wanted to try to make it work, they could just go with a Game Pass for PlayStation, Game Pass for Switch, and they just have certain games go to it like they do with PC. Like the PC Game Pass and the Xbox Game Pass have a different selection of games pretty much across the board. They share the same first party for the most part, but like there are some games that are only on Xbox. You got to check the details and like the blog posts that they put out for like Game Pass updates, because some of them just aren't on the PC and they're on Xbox and vice versa. Like Gears Tactics was on PC Game Pass a while ago and it's just now coming to Xbox next month. So they could do that. Nintendo could be like, look, we're going to try to sell Doom Eternal. We don't want that on Game Pass on Switch because we're actually going to try to sell it.
Yeah,
so
there'd have to be like some sort of curation.
So they'd be like, okay, how about we just do Halo Master Chief Collection? We'll put Halo Infinite there through xCloud. We'll do all these first party games that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Yep.
So
those are probably ongoing conversations between all these companies, and it's just a matter of make it appealing to all parties involved. Because Nintendo could come back and still say, we like the idea of Game Pass, but what you're asking for from a fee is simply too high for us. You guys have to come down in price, and Microsoft could balk at that and say, whoa, this is a standard fee, and you get into all the managerial disasters of why deals don't get made.
I have a strong feeling Microsoft's going to use Bethesda as leverage to figure out a way to get their services on the other platforms and then basically be everywhere.
And they should. And one of the things I hate is whenever this topic comes up is people say, oh, no one got mad that Sony bought Naughty Dog. These comparisons aren't even close to the same things. Microsoft bought a publisher that housed over a dozen development studios. Naughty Dog was a long time Sony only developer. So it was like, okay, you didn't buy a multi-platform, huge publishing house. There's been nothing in the industry along these lines. I mean, they now own historic IP with Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
This isn't a case of just saying you bought a random developer. This isn't like Insomniac. And people are like, oh, they had a Microsoft game. They had a Microsoft game. They had one with, what was the game on the Xbox One?
Well, yeah, but
Sunset Overdrive.
Sony got, they have they own Sunset Overdrive now. They took that. I like that game.
Yeah, and Microsoft sold the IP to Sony in that deal. Well, they sold it back to Insomniac, who then got purchased by Sony.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Well, we just got to see what happens with I guess Starfield's the next thing up from Bethesda.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, from Bethesda Game Studios, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But like Deathloop will be on the PlayStation.
What's the fate of Starfield? Is it still going to go to PlayStation 5?
Yeah. If they put it on PlayStation 5, and there you go. So. That'll be
and that's going to be the problem, is that it's going to people say, oh, well, this happened, that means this can happen. Like, it could happen. It simply comes down to the contract talks. We don't know what agreements have been made.
Sure. Yep. So we'll see. Maybe next year we see Starfield and they put the PlayStation 5 logo up, and there you go. But
it would be an interesting day if that happens.
It would be, wouldn't it? I feel like Microsoft's going to use that as their leverage for services is all. So
this deal makes a lot more sense when you think about it that way. I think so.
Yeah, because they need something to push people into the Xbox ecosystem. This is a great way to do it. And if that means pushing Game Pass on PlayStation 5 or Switch, then this is how you do it. And
if those companies don't play along, it's still going to work out just fine, because those games are going to make money for them more than that $7.5 billion would have made just sitting in a bank account getting some interest, or in whatever other monetary solution they would have chosen. Like, this is going to make more money than any of that would have done. So yeah, absolutely.
So also, Sony should go buy a publisher then.
Go buy WB Games sitting out there.
Go buy a publisher then.
Amazon and Google.
I don't have as big of a problem. I know, Nate, you said there's nothing like this, but like, I mean, it's like cherry picking, in my opinion. You know, it's like, okay, it's okay to go buy Final Fantasy. It's okay to go buy certain things. And then when somebody knocks your ass out and punches you harder, then you cry and complain. Like, no. Like, that's... Hold on. If people are allowed to buy certain things that are multi-platform, they should be allowed to do this, and there shouldn't be any, like, you know, like, too many complaints.
Jeff just made a good point. Stadia, going to roll in, pick up WB Games. Let's go.
I know that gets you excited, John. I know you're excited about that.
Companies are smart enough, like, if they wanted to sell,
right
that they won't, they wouldn't sell it like a Stadia, you know, because it's like, you can get that bag right now, but the longevity of your games and how many people are actually playing them is going to be a lot less and diminish whenever Stadia ends up, you know, turning off for good.
If Stadia actually bought WB, that would probably one of the worst days in
There'd be no more Batman games.
That would be one of the worst days I've ever seen.
I mean, Amazon or Google, they don't know what they're doing.
No, not Amazon.
And one of them's going to do something like that. So yeah, a bad day is coming for gaming.
They have the money for it, and I really hope a lot of these companies these publishers are smart enough to say, you know what, we'll say no.
Or we'll just go talk to Microsoft.
We'll wait for Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo to come.
That'd be so bad.
Yeah. The weird thing with these type of acquisitions, though, is it was a great acquisition from Microsoft and ZeniMax. ZeniMax needed it. Microsoft saw the opportunity, and they took advantage. And it will probably pay off in the long term. The scary aspect of it is the industry consolidating. It's runs risk.
But it's not like the alternative isn't great either. Like the current state of things isn't great. That was my argument for like why I'm not too worried about Microsoft buying Bethesda. It's like, if they didn't, Bethesda was probably going to start closing down studios. They were probably going to start canceling games. They were going to shrink and lay people off. And now they don't have to. So from that perspective, it's an okay thing. It doesn't mean that consolidation is good. It just means it's slightly better than the really volatile state of trying to make games in 2020, make big blockbuster games. But yeah, the alternative isn't better than consolidation. It's just consolidation also isn't great. I agree.
Yeah, or like you said, Amazon comes in and buys Bethesda instead of ZeniMax, and that would have been real bad.
I have no doubt that would just be worse because those companies do not understand gaming. They are gonna
Starfield going to be a Luna exclusive.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff Grubb. This is why I like you. They don't understand gaming and they're fraudulent. Look, I was trying to. You weren't on the podcast when we were talking about that, but I said that they have no passion. They don't know what it's just a cash grab. They're not in it to actually make something. You know.
No. The whole thing is to get gamers to pay for their server expansion. They want to get server clusters all around the world. Gamers spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of money, and if they can get us to sort of subsidize as they move their servers into more and more areas, that's good for them. That's what they want here. Microsoft wants that too. Let's be clear. But Microsoft's like, well, what if we actually make stuff that's good and make stuff that people want to buy? And that's a little bit better.
But they're actually passionate. Like you've got guys like you can talk about placements or whatever, but they actually played games. These people grew up with them. Amazon, they don't care. These Google, they don't care about gaming at all.
At least Game Pass is literally like a great deal.
Yeah.
Like that,
if you make something
you
that
feel
gamers
like you're getting a deal. Exactly.
Yeah. If you make something that gamers want, it's going to end up actually being pretty cool. Game Pass is pretty cool because they thought about what we want and they actually made that thing. And
I don't see Lost Odyssey 2 here. So
okay, you're right. Not everything that we want.
Yo, you need to check on the health of Mistwalker. They're speaking of consolidating.
Trying to make that purchase.
They're on.
Time for Phil Spencer. Time for him to go hit the ATM.
Bro, they're all live support. I don't even know who's working. They're talking about Skeleton Crew. Who's working at Mistwalker? What are they doing?
You know who could probably pick up Mistwalker for very easy? Tencent. Tencent is going.
I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody there. Every time they go knock on the door, there's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's nobody there.
Mail piled up on the doorstep. Yeah.
I picture their door with like one of the slide things where they like look through it with their eyes. Like, that's how I picture Mistwalker.
We're working on mobile games. Get the hell away from me.
It's just Mistwalker. They don't say anything. They just close it. Yeah.
What was it? A DS or was it a 3DS game? What was it? Ash or something?
Oh,
it never came out.
Oh my god, dude, that was great, John. That was great.
It was so good.
This is from Liam Warner, who says, do you think Zelda could suffer from Assassin's Creed syndrome, where a new installment every year like Nintendo promised could eventually end up hurting the series rather than helping it? Amazing stream as always. I'd say no, because each Zelda game, a lot of the Zelda games are
so different,
very different from each other. So
I mean, there's been a new Zelda game each year dating back to like 2012.
Yeah, like I have a feeling Breath of the Wild is going to actually be fairly different from the first Breath of the Wild, to the point where it doesn't blend in. Like I think they're going to try some different things with it. Hopefully,
it's really going to be a bow training too. Yeah, that's what
they're going to remake games. They're never going to do like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
the Zapper.
I have a strong feeling I'll be able to climb in the rain in Breath of the Wild too. So
no, you'll get upgrades to where you can like certain things that you can climb in the rain. That's what I'm thinking.
Then Sir Skinny says, you guys are all great. And Taker610 says, when does next gen truly start? I feel like Demon's Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales are not true next gen games. A game like Dirt 5 kinda isn't either. What games will truly deliver our first next gen experience? Something that runs at 4K 120 frames per second. That would be the Falconeer.
Yep.
That is 4K 120, if that's what we're going by. But if you're going by more gameplay and functionality, taking advantage of the SSD, I guess it'd be Ratchet and Clank.
But wait a minute.
I think Ratchet and Clank, God of War 2 are going to be the first two like big.
Ooh, we got to see God of War. I want to see the visuals for God of War. That's going.
God of War 2 is probably going to look like
those games aren't going to be running at 4K 120 or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, you need Falconeer for that. Get Falconeer. That's gonna be an 8K game apparently.
What about an indie game? Because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be indie games that run. Is that next gen? If it's 4K 120,
the next Ori, it'll be good.
I think Gears 5, 4K.
Is that the standard for next gen? 4K 120.
I'm thinking like gameplay wise, like Ratchet and Clank has that dimensional shifting. That's gameplay oriented. Like let's talk about. Let's get the gameplay stuff here, because I can make a lot of things run at 4K 120 on the PC.
The Medium's going to be doing a lot of that SSD benefits in December.
That's a good point.
It might not be visually that next gen with what people are anticipating next gen to be, but it's still taking advantage of a lot of the features that next gen's been introduced.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like
it's going to be Skate 4 for sure. Honestly, they're really going to take advantage of showing little chips on the deck when you're grinding pop off.
Serious ray tracing and 3D audio.
Serious ray tracing. It's going to be disgusting. You go, I can't believe it.
New Skate would be the first next gen game.
Maybe like Dead Space 4. Who knows?
Dead Space 4.
Dead Space 4. And Thunderbeard says Spawnwave is a fanboy of Stadia. See, that wasn't too hard to do.
Got a couple of those.
Congratulations.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good,
you're going to be reading
good.
through a couple. Yeah.
Scuff Studios says, dude on top right, there's something moving on your wall. Nintendo Power says, with PlayStation content getting more coverage for the next few months, you should bring on Mystic. He's a good PlayStation-centric YouTuber and has been around forever. We can bring on Mystic. That'd be cool. I'll get in contact with him. Yeah, that'd be cool. We can do that as we get closer to the PlayStation launch as well, or maybe even after the PS5 comes out, like that week. That'd be good.
Be a busy week.
Sakon 10 says, Nate, is Golden Sun coming back? You seen that leak video? That was all one word, but they didn't use spaces. That was just all one word, by the way.
It was a leak video?
Sure.
Okay.
You didn't see the leak video?
Yeah,
the leak
Nate,
video of the Golden Sun.
You're the guy. You just leaked the Switch
the
2
guy.
like 10 minutes ago. You didn't see the Golden Sun leak?
You didn't know about the PS6? Damn.
Oh, I wasn't even ready for the PS6. So
AZ says, will the PS5 have higher frames per second on a 1080p monitor than a 4K monitor, or will they have the same frames per second?
I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, because they have to be kind of designed around that. Like if they have like a resolution mode and then like a performance mode. So I assume you'd have to switch between either one. Anyway, otherwise what it'll do is it'll probably just super sample down anyway, or you'll get that effect. So that's something we already get with the PS4 Pro now anyway. So don't Master Truth says DLSS is a game changer. That's something I would assume Nintendo will at least try to take advantage of.
It's in Avengers now. Did I see that? I wasn't paying attention. I think Avengers got updated with DLSS, or was that a dream? Did I dream that?
I don't know. I'm not playing on PC right now, but
they might have.
I might be going crazy.
They put out
from what I remember, it was in there at the beginning, but it might have been something else.
They put out a patch that had 1,000 bug fixes, so
1,000 different updates to the game.
Wow.
Avengers get DLSS 2.1 support. Yeah. This is a day ago. Yeah, so it's in there. It's in there now.
1,000 different. Imagine that game was totally ready to launch. Like seriously.
Yeah, it was ready for September. They really
completely ready.
Quality controlled that one.
Mid says, what are everyone's guesses to when we may finally see a GTA 6 announcement?
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be next year. I do. Like just announce it.
The day people go, you know what, I'm done with GTA 5 is when they go, oh, we need money. They got to make it. But
the next trailer they show is going to be like a GTA thing, and we're all going to be like, oh, what's happening? And then it's just going to be an update for the online again.
I love it. Well, they kind of did that with the PlayStation presentation. Remember they showed something that looked like Grand Theft Auto? And we're like, wait, like Grand Theft Auto 5. We're like, great.
Well, it is coming to the PlayStation. But don't worry, guys. It's like,
here's what they need to do. They need to separate Grand Theft Auto line completely from everything, and then just go over and just make Grand Theft Auto 6, 7, 8, whatever. They just need to separate them.
They're in the process of that, right? Because it's like going free to play on PlayStation. So yeah, they're in the process of moving toward that. I think you're right.
Yeah, they need to do that because it's getting annoying. I'm ready for GTA 6. GTA 5 is going to be on 3 different generations. We've had enough.
One more gen, I think they'll be ready. They'll finally get that situated set, and then we'll get it maybe in the next generation. Yes,
maybe.
All right.
I just want to see how far
crazy
we can pull like Resident Evil 5 because it's really pulling Resident Evil 4. Grand Theft Auto 5 is just pulling it to every console. So I want to see how far it can go. Like I want to be on PS7 and still have that port.
Audible
the difference is that they actually made new Resident Evils in between.
Well, no, that's for sure. But at least like they still dragged 4 on like every console.
Well, so, it was ported. It was ported there, but it was okay because you got 5, you got 6.
Yeah, at least you actually got.
They could have left 6 away, but I mean, you got. At least they made it.
Listen, Rockstar's been working hard. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, and then more Grand Theft Auto. So more the same.
Audible says, will they bring Game Pass to smart TVs? I would assume they would. Yes. So
Samsung TV is probably first, and then everything else.
Yeah, I would expect that. Matthew says John is a Stadia fanboy. All right, there we go. Say Dave says, will the I almost can never pronounce it. Halpage.
It's got to be German, right? Halpage. Like that.
Series X.
I have one. I'll test it.
Okay,
I got one right over there. I haven't plugged it in, but I will.
I had a Heineken today. Isn't that German?
It's Dutch, right, or Danish, something like that.
It was pretty good.
Sinohen says, I want to see Rare develop a new racing game for Xbox and PC, Rare Ultimate Racing or something like that.
Featuring Diddy Kong.
Jared says, I've been getting into Dragon Quest. Any favorites?
Ooh, Dragon Quest 8. Dragon Quest
8 is very good, and 11's good as well.
8 and 11.
Like Starry Sky.
9's good too. Yeah,
good.
9's good.
The Starry Sky. Yeah.
11's most current, 11. And 11S is going to be going to Game Pass in December if you have access to that. Otherwise, it's on Switch, and then the PlayStation 4 has Dragon Quest 11 technically as well. But I would guess S would be the one to get either way.
Yes, get S. Do not get the original. Get the S version of it on whatever system it's coming out later. Get that one.
Switch works really well for it because it's that handheld, portal mode and all that's nice for it. So,
although it's weird because the graphics look like the Switch version on the Xbox.
Isn't that the weird thing where they scaled down for the Switch and then they're just moving it to other systems at the scale down?
Yep. PC, everything. They moved to everything. Yep.
They made the game for the Switch. They recreated it in Unreal Engine for the Switch, but they're porting the Switch version to the other ones.
More content, less fidelity.
Yeah. So the original one looks better, but the content in there is more than worth it. You'll be okay. The resolution is good.
If you start playing Dragon Quest 8 now, you should be done it by the time Dragon Quest 11S goes to Game Pass in December. So there you go. Just start with that and then move to that one when it comes out on Game Pass. That way you can see what you think about that through that. So, and then Chris says, I just picked it up at Walmart for $90.88. I assume that's the Mario Kart Live, because Walmart does do those. They do those discounts. So if you can find it, that's the thing. It's really hard to find now. So
Mafia, $33.
Yeah. Mafia is that's a good physical edition to get. It has a map, slipcover, everything. Yep. So then Don't Mass says, will Quibbits lead to perfect live GPU simulations?
Is that quantum computing? Is that what that is? I don't know.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. The answer is yes.
It's above my pay grade.
RDX.
That's my line, fringe.
RDX says Dirt tweeted out Dealer Gaming Dirt 5 vid. Jared, we just did that one, Jared. And then we have Joey says, can Microsoft use smaller storage size expansion cards as cartridges to play games like the Switch?
MVG, myself, and John Linneman actually talked about that a couple of weeks ago, where it would be a cool idea if companies were able to take SSD external cards like what we see on the Xbox Series X and just made those for games if the sizes could get down small enough and cheap enough to make it happen, and just return to kind of the era of the N64 where you'd have no load times and everything. But
we'll be all digital by then.
We are nowhere near that future yet.
Nah, we'll be all digital by then, probably.
Hopefully not.
Chris says, anyone hear anything on the game Biomutant? It was supposed to come out this year. It looked like it would be fun. Yeah, Biomutant got pushed to next year, but they did show an extended gameplay. I think it might have been a Gamescom last.
It was when they announced the delay, right? They announced the delay and hey, here's some more gameplay. I remember that now.
It was like 40 minutes too. And the game, I will say the game looks better the second time they showed it. Like the first time they weren't 100% sure what it was going to be, but now it's like a bigger open world action RPG. And it looks pretty good because you create your own character. Like there's a lot of customization, and I'm interested in it. I'll check it out next year, hopefully when it comes out. But they don't want to put an actual timetable on it because there's not as many people working on it as you would think for something like that kind of project for THQ Nordic. So they're just like, when it's ready, we'll bring it out. They don't seem to be rushed. So hopefully next year. Demolition Man says the Mario Kart Live tech would be awesome to see in drone racing or the next Pilot Wings. Wow, drones with this, that would be interesting.
On drift. Oh dear.
Oh wait. No, that's they can do F-Zero with that, right?
Oh,
yeah, some people in chat were saying that's a good idea.
What if they get you a whole track that you built and everything?
I actually did watch a live drone racing thing with, I think everyone was on their cell phones, and they were like these little almost missile-like drones, and they had to fly through rings around a giant stadium. It looked so
That's
cool.
Huge. Yeah, that's a really big So if you dive into it, there's some of the craziest videos. Those pilots are insane.
Those guys are so.
It's no marble racing, but it's all right.
It's so good.
Marble racing has been the best thing in the pandemic. I'll tell you that much. It is entertaining.
Then Mitika says Metal Gear question of the week.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, they missed the Discord cutoff, Evan. That's what they said.
They know it's today.
If forced, which one do you? If forced, which one do you erase from history? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 5 isn't an option.
4, like just what Konami's doing.
Oh, the 4 has so much fan service to it.
Which one do I erase?
Come on, it has Revolver Ocelot doing the gun motion on his sides while people are getting gunned down. It's hilarious.
I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2.
Whoa.
I'll leave 4. I'll leave 3, and I'll leave 1.
You have to erase it from history, though. So that means you are erasing all those people at E3 blocking up the pathways, just watching that trailer over and over and over again. That's just gone from history now.
But doesn't that just make it better for everyone else trying to get around?
You're right. Let's get rid of that thing. Yeah.
Also, if you erase 2, you also erase the only reason people bought Zone of the Enders 1, which means we wouldn't get Zone of the Enders 2.
You just ruined Zone of the Enders 2 as well. Yeah, you got to think about these things.
You selfish bastard.
Dang, man.
Well, that just means Konami ought to make some more games then.
That's not
yeah.
They made games back then.
Funny, dude.
Does that mean that I also erased the Zone of the Enders 2 slot machine?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I bet you if I search it,
it's Konami. Anything they made is a slot machine. Yeah.
There is a rule for Konami. If you search any of their games next to the keyword slot machine, it probably comes up.
I mean, they have Zone of the Enders VR.
It's not very good though.
Do they have Zone of the Enders slots VR?
Really?
Okay.
I played it. And it was all over the place. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. I had fun with it. It's a nice nostalgia trip.
Well, what are you guys erasing then? I erased 2. Okay, I'm fine with that.
I haven't really played any of them, so I have no say.
Oh,
I ain't erasing shit. Discussion sucks.
Jordan.
I was gonna say what's the best one, and then just delete that just to see what happens, just to cause some panic. Why not?
All right. Let's see. Shenru says Sonic 3D All Stars when? Buy or skip? I mean, I'd buy Sonic 3D All Stars immediately. Well,
how many games are in there? 1?
Is Sonic 06 in there? Sonic 06 has to be in there, right?
No.
They're better.
You can't call it All Stars then.
Oh, then pass. No, if you have like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle,
Heroes,
Sonic Heroes,
Dear God.
Sonic Shuffle. A lot of silence for that one.
Sure.
All right.
Put it in there. Why not?
Deserves it.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, Sonic Forces.
Sunshine.
Sonic Forces, Sonic 06, and
Did you just compare Sonic 06 to Sunshine, Nate?
They're both broken.
Oh
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, at least one's.
He's
Oh
reaching.
man. Ugh, yuck.
Reaching. Would you like a straw? Here, I have one.
Nate, what are you doing?
There you go.
What?
Just kidding.
They both have camera issues.
Yeah, but one's more playable than the other one still. A lot more playable.
What, Sonic?
Yes, totally.
TJ says,
100%.
so does the Series X support Dolby Vision?
Yep. Yes.
It does. Okay, there we go. Severo says, hey, Spawn, here to ask you to check if the PS5 supports DisplayPort over USB-C on the front port. Maybe check the pins or something. The bandwidth is more than enough for PSVR 2. That is going to be interesting when they do finally reveal PlayStation VR 2 and how that's going to work out.
I'm excited for it.
Hopefully it's wireless.
Yeah, so I can play Ace Combat wherever I want.
Hopefully you don't need a system. But wait a minute, you need the system.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna make another one,
Good job, Woody.
just make it like
I
an
just got the Quest. I was just messing around with it.
Hey,
you don't need a system.
The Quest is pretty cool for that. That's one of the best parts is that you don't need a system.
You just put it on and then
Yeah,
you just
Facebook.
That's what the PSVR 2 should absolutely be. It should absolutely be like that. It should just be a Quest, and then maybe you plug it in the PS5 for some other stuff. I don't know.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best part is you don't need a console to play it. It's just turn it on. So, Radberry Gaming. Anyone play the Ghost Legends multiplayer? I updated it. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. I am excited.
Well, I was gonna bring it up because I wanted to play it this week.
Yeah, I want to play it too.
I already updated. I'm ready to play.
Squad up.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to do the update. I just don't want to lose
waiting.
my.
You guys are
Full
deteriorating
PS5.
your experience. PS5 will be at 60 frames per second.
I'll replay through it on New Game Plus.
Nope.
It'll be fine.
Wait.
That's how I was gonna do. I was gonna play New Game Plus on the PS5.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
playing
wait.
everything on the
I
PS5.
don't care. The combat's going to be the same. I
Nope,
just want
it's
to play
not.
it now.
It's gonna be next gen.
Whoa, that's gonna be crazy.
Next gen on PS5.
Oh, here we go. AJ says, "What is Next Level Games working on? Strikers?
I hope so.
Me too.
I really hope so. Like, I really hope so. They're working on Strikers.
Bring back Mario Strikers.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Mario Golf.
No,
I'll take one of those.
Did they do Punch Out? Are they the ones? Are they the ones that did Punch Out Wii?
They did Punch Out Wii.
I hope they're making another Punch Out because that game rules.
Okay, I want to see Nintendo try Punch Out in 2021.
Yeah, good luck with Punch Out.
After all of the
I want to see it.
Yeah, the stereotypes. Yeah, absolutely.
If Punch Out comes out, if they make a new Punch Out game, it's gonna use the Ring Fit. 100% will have features with that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do think they'll use it and incorporate it with it.
I don't know. If they did Punch, it wouldn't be stereotypes. It would just be you fight people. It would just be like different boxers, you know, and like they make it more on the actual gameplay than stereotypes. But the game was always about stereotypes, but they would just focus it on the gameplay instead, you know.
Yes.
Good old soda pop.
Pizza Pasta. Yeah. Come on, man. That's the Italian fighter. Pizza Pasta in the arcade version.
I mean, everyone just like beating up Glass Joe in the beginning, right?
I had a friend who couldn't beat Glass. He couldn't beat Glass Joe.
Everyone just like beating him up in the beginning.
Yeah, in the Wii version, he's French, and you punch him, and baguettes fly out of him because he's so French. Yeah, it's very fun.
So yeah, stuff like that. No, not anymore.
Great.
Not in 2020.
Wii.
All right.
I wish I streamed my friend playing the NES original. He fought Glass Joe for an hour. And he lost to him for an hour straight. He's like, Nate, I swear to God, I beat Mike Tyson once. I was like, no, Mike, you never did.
No.
Like, you can't beat Glass. I'm like, right now, Glass Joe's overall record is winning. And he started this fight 1-99. I was like, he's actually like 199 now because of you. I seen Glass Joe do moves I didn't know were in the game.
Because he just took so long.
You're talking about Punch Out on the Wii, right?
Round length and everything. My friend was getting KO'd by him. I'm like, what is
he's doing the wind up with one hand and the jab with the other one.
I had never laughed so hard in my life. And he was really sitting there like, I beat Mike Tyson. I was like, I never beat Mike Tyson.
Oh, man.
I wish I had like it streamed on video because people would have thought we just left the controller sitting there. And he was really trying. He tried so hard to beat Glass Joe.
Are you sure it wasn't on like the actual mode, like after you beat the game once, it has like the pro circuit mode where like he has like a head cover and all that stuff? Are you sure it wasn't that mode or?
It was just my friend trying to play Punch Out
on the Wii, right?
Glass Joe.
On the Wii.
Was the controller broken?
No, the controller was fine. I gave it to another friend.
His friend was broken, is what it sounds like.
It
was connected. My friend was just.
I'm trying here, Nate.
He was terrible.
There was some HD lag with that game. Like if you hooked it up to an HD TV, if it was like there was some HD lag on there.
It wasn't that either. We eventually went to another friend's house. He had the NES out. We put the game in. And he's still going to beat Glass Joe.
So I mean, I love Punch Out on the Wii. It's one of my favorite Wii games. It's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Great.
I wish I had that on camera because people would have died of laughter of him taking it. He got so serious about it too. And he's like, I can do this. Knocked out.
Like a viral video.
I would have gone viral. People would have been like,
this person trying to beat Glass Joe for an hour.
You know what? Like a guy trying to beat Cuphead. Yeah.
Oh, poor D. Jump over this. No.
That Dan guy says the PS5 UI preview in the store Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was front and center and not the known launch titles. Will it be a shadow drop at launch? I feel like they'd want to market that a bit leading up to launch. So I think that's a good way for them to start out 2021. I think that's a good one.
There's no point to shadow drop that. They're going to sell as many consoles as they're going to. It doesn't matter.
Gibby says any knowledge of Star Wars games in the works for next gen? Fallen Order 2?
Probably.
That's probably because they said they already started. Like it looks like they're starting development on the next one. That's I think
I'm very excited for that.
To do. Probably. I mean, honestly, they might do Battlefront 3 or something.
I am waiting.
Come back.
Definitely get a Battlefront 3.
I'm so glad I didn't beat that game and do everything yet because that's going to be like. Has anybody tested that game on Xbox Series X yet?
Doesn't work yet. It's not on the white list yet. I've tried it a bunch of times because I would like to see how it runs on console. It's great.
Yeah.
It ran really well on my PC, so I'm like, I bet that.
I really want to play that on Series X. Fallen Order.
Yeah,
Order. Yeah, like 60 frames maybe, and like maybe some of the input delay with some of the attacks and stuff.
You know what I would like to see? I've been playing more and more Star Wars Squadrons. I would like to see them use that same kind of idea and do a pod racing game. That would be cool.
Yep. They should do more of those kinds of squadron level games.
A smaller project, multiplayer,
just a lot of them. Yeah,
progression, leveling up, all that stuff, but with pod racing, that would be cool.
Yeah.
And a few more here. Humdrum says Neo GameSpark is a cool one too. Covers Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. Sounds good. Alcatraz says, any idea on when the next Bioshock will be revealed? It's a good question.
Eventually.
I know they're working on it. So
one day.
Yeah, it'll come.
Patrick says, we need third-person Metroid game done in the same style as Jedi Fallen Order. Good puzzles and battles with proper Metroidvania backtracking / exploring.
Metroid Other M. Go play that.
There you go.
No slander. No slander.
Watch out, she has a straw.
Edward says, would you rather have Phil or Miyamoto on the cast? Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
Well, we would need like
translator.
Like a translator, but yes, Miyamoto, absolutely.
Miyamoto-san, yes.
Then Patrick says, are we ever going to...
What type of question is that? Like, what type of question is that? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done.
But we'd have Phil in the after show. That'd be great.
What?
Patrick says, are we ever going to get a remake or remaster of Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver games? Wow. Best storyline, Sony's SSD is perfect for the spectral shifting. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't know if they're going to put Blue Point on that.
No.
Jordan says, I finally played and beat Mario Sunshine for 18 years. It started off fun, but with poor controls and angering camera. I'm with Nate. Forget that game.
Hey, that's not me, Jordan. I didn't say that. All right.
See, the truth is finally happening. People are realizing Sunshine is awful.
And then Pico with the big 100 says, who's more excited for which console or even Hyrule Warriors the same week? Keep it up, guys.
It's a busy week.
Right now,
everything.
Right now, I'm more excited for the PS5 because Demon's Souls is there along with Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's basically going back to what Jeff says, where they have the games. So it's like, yep. Right. Like if Halo Infinite was there at launch for the Xbox, it'd be Halo. I'd be like, yeah, all right, I'm on Halo. It's the Xbox. But Demon's Souls, Spider-Man has me more excited for the PS5 currently. But then the other issue is Hyrule Warriors comes out the same day as Cyberpunk.
The day after, actually, I think it is.
Day after.
Yep.
But yeah, within 24 hours of that. That's tough. That's tough.
Yep.
That's tough. So I'm going to go back and forth between them. It's going to be a crazy week. It really will be when all that happens.
It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun streaming and stuff. So
yeah, I think Cyberpunk's going to get most of my attention, honestly.
It's going to be fun.
Both of them.
It's going to be fun. I've
been waiting way too long for Cyberpunk, and HCAM is exciting, but it's like, yeah, I could wait an extra week to play it.
Sorry, go ahead, OJ.
No, go ahead, Click.
I was just saying, for me personally, I had to figure out which one I would care more about it getting spoiled for me. Like, yeah, we know what's going to happen in Hyrule Warriors, but like, we don't know the specifics. And if a certain cutscene or moment is talked about and spoiled for me, I'm going to be way more upset about Hyrule Warriors because it's much more linear.
I get that.
I genuinely, with Cyberpunk, I feel like it's more about the journey. People are going to pick different routes. It's going to be very hard to have the same kind of playthrough. You know what I mean? I don't even know, like, if the story, we don't really know if the story is going to be that good. You know,
you're right. That'll be about the stories people tell, though, and I want to be part of that conversation. So, I agree with everything you're saying. For me, it's the opposite. I want to be part of the conversation for Cyberpunk, where I'd be like, "Oh, I did this thing. How did you do it? Oh, you did it differently."
Yeah, I totally get that.
With how CD Projekt Red historically does stuff, just to be able to talk to someone about, I made this decision and this is what changed, could be pretty incredible.
Right.
Yeah. Right, and definitely. But I feel like with that game though, the conversation can go on longer. For Hyrule Warriors, it's a little bit like, I feel like the replayability will be different than the actual story content, just because I feel like Cyberpunk is going to have a lot more like Easter eggs and hidden things, and I just feel like that has a lot more longevity to it, and I'm okay being late to that, if that makes sense.
And that's no disrespect to Age of Calamity. I'm very excited for it, but I've been waiting for Cyberpunk for way too long.
I also feel that like people are more willing to spoil Age of Calamity than they'll spoil Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk, since the different routes, you're not going to be spoiled as much. Whereas people legitimately try to spoil Nintendo games. All like they're out there, they're doing it on purpose. You know.
Also, I bet you get through Age of Calamity's just like story straight. Like you just probably go straight through it much faster than you could through Cyberpunk kind of things.
Yeah, I'd say 15-20 hours unless they're really full blowing this thing.
Yeah, it's like it's probably gonna be like 15-20 hours type of.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
It might be longer.
I'm replaying through Hyrule Warriors right now, and I streamed probably like straight through like at least 15 hours, and I'm not even halfway through. So it could be more. It could be more.
I mean, yeah, it could be. It depends on like how much like you replay though, right? Like that game, like if you replay certain missions, like you replay certain things during it, like you can get through it a lot faster. If you put the game on easy and you just go through it, you can get through you can get through it quicker. But you always want to like replay stuff and get certain things, so it extends it a little bit.
There's a big shout out to Shamsa coming in with the $100 donation through Streamlabs as well. Thank you, Shamsa. Big shout out to Shamsa there. Let's go around here as I finish up some of the super chats as we can do some of the outros. Jeff, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for the quick look at the Xbox Series X Dash and the load times and the games and all of that. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jeff Grubb. Get me on YouTube, youtube.com/Jeffrey Grubb. And then all my written work is at gamesbeat.com. And yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun to hang out with y'all.
A lot of fun. And then let's go over to Click. Where can they find you, Miss Click?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming. I pretty much just right now, it's just highlights and me talking about games that I've played. I'm nothing too crazy. I'm mainly live on Twitch. You can find me there at MissClick_live. Other than that, I'll throw a link in the chat for all my other links so you can have fun with that. Thanks.
And then we had RDX Devin says 1X was supposed to ship with 4K UI, but developers made them change it. So you want 4K UI or 1 gig more RAM for games? I do remember that story that they were supposed to have 4K UI for the 1X, but they changed it. But I mean, now they're up to 16 gigabytes of faster memory. So you would assume they could do that 4K UI now, specifically because Sony seems to be doing it with the PS5. So it's I mean, we'll see the comparisons if they decide to stick with 1080p. But I just come back to the idea that they're touting the Series X as a very powerful machine compared to its competition, but its competition is doing the 4K UI, HDR, all of that. That's why it's just the presentation versus what's actually there. Zaire Miller says, has anyone seen the new trailer for Age of Calamity? Also, what ideas on how it could connect to Breath of the Wild 2?
What new trailer is he talking about? That's
probably the latest. Know. Probably just the latest one.
The latest one?
The new enemy.
Like the Master Koga? Is he talking about like the Master Koga and the mysterious new ally? Okay, he's talking about that one. Some people are saying like Vati, or some people are saying who's the other dude from Link to the Past? John, you know who I'm talking about, right? Aga, whatever.
Aghanim or something.
Yeah, some people are saying maybe there's some connection there as well. So
okay. Then Randall Thor says the Minecraft PS4 crossplay thing was a tit-for-tat situation. Microsoft wanted live on PlayStation Network for the game. Sony said no. Microsoft said no to Minecraft VR in return. Once Sony said yes, look what happened. Minecraft VR. Telling you, Microsoft might do that. Leverage those IPs. Yep. Be smart. Like, let's get Game Pass on there. Yeah. In a limited capacity, but still get Game Pass there. Goose says, love your content. Spawn discovered you while I was deployed, and you helped me get through a lot. Keep it up. Thank you, Goose. We'll be around every day. We do videos every day here and our podcast every weekend. We don't miss a weekend. So even if we have to pre-record it, we'll be here Saturday night. So let's go over to Jordan. Where can they find you, Jordan?
You can find me at youtube.com/c/pickled. I make content on, older TV shows, cartoons, and stuff like that I enjoy. I'm like back on a content grind. I put out 2 big videos this week. One about Godzilla, the series, which is a continuation of the 1998 crappy American Godzilla that we made.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And the show's that's the one
that they just beat down constantly whenever they have the different Godzillas get together.
Oh yeah, I talk about that all in the video because the animated show is actually really good. And then I put out a video with Comic Drake yesterday about Static Shock, and then hours later, news about the Static Shock movie comes out in perfect fashion. So go check out those videos. I would truly appreciate it. And I'm plenty more next week already in the works.
Dexter's Lab.
That one's starting to get penned, but I have some interesting ones I'm working on right now.
OJ, where can they find you?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I stream daily, cover Nintendo, RPGs, gaming, PlayStation, Xbox. I'm starting to incorporate some more reaction videos and stuff, to the latest trailers and all that. And also, I'll finally starting up, I know it's been a while, so like anime content. Talk about like Hunter x Hunter, talk about like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff. So I'm starting up all that, talk about those shows like best villains, what I like the most, blah, 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 rating the shows. best arcs and stuff like that. So that'll all be next week. I also got some Oculus Black Keely stuff that I'll be doing. So guys, look out for that.
Goodness.
What about
That'll be fun.
what about you, Nate?
Find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. Right now we have a podcast up of MVG and I talk to a developer who worked for Crytek UK and Traveler's Tale about their experience with crunch in the industry and how crunch culture is, can be a pretty terrible thing, but they also talk about how some of the companies that they have worked for have a sensible approach to crunch. So people should give that a listen. You can find me on Twitter as well at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2. There will be an episode out sometime in the coming week. Might be about Nintendo, might be about another topic, not too sure yet, but something to look forward to. And then on Direct Feed Games, we'll have Transformers, Horus, and what was the other game?
Red Lantern?
The Red Lantern, yes, the Iditarod
Save.
game. Yes, click with
Awesome.
the save, the Balto of the moment.
I will check out that Red Lantern stuff just to say.
Yes.
And Evan, what about you?
Find me on Twitter, Kimrick's Project. Also, for the past couple of months, we've been working on, and I hope this doesn't break the stream, Spawncast clip stuff. So if you guys want to go follow on the Spawncast clips channel,
Yes.
I post starting Wednesday, and then depending on how many clips I have, we basically just add as we go until usually through Friday or Saturday.
Yep. So if anything funny or weird happens during the
Oh my
podcast, Evan
goodness.
will spot it. He will find it and he will post it. Okay?
Sean
Saw
thumbnail.
the
Really,
push.
really,
Just
really
so-
gross toes,
The
baby.
thumbnails are always really good.
Boy. But like I'm
Nice.
sure Evan will post up Jeff's like preview, for example, where he shows off the Series X stuff and things like that.
All
So,
the segments, and usually if there's something else going on, I'll grab it.
yes. So cool. That's everyone. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone for donated super chats, all that good stuff. And we will be back here next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I believe the following week will be Halloween. I think we're going to pre-record that one during the week, but we're going to do it on a certain day because things may or may not be happening. It should be a lot of fun. So maybe we'll even dress up for the Halloween episode. I don't know. We'll see.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Maybe.
Yeah, Nate. So Nate, you'll have to figure something out.
I think I got
He'll just
I think
change
I
his
got
icon.
Kratos.
Yeah.
He'll just
Nate,
change
you
his
don't
icon.
Gossip us?
I'm gonna be a
Argus, my
ninja. So you guys
Okay, I
already
think
know.
we'll figure it out. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next Saturday night.
Gunner.